Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
So, before we get started, allow me to present Jenny with a gift from Lil Wayne that was sent to me with my gift from Lil Wayne.
No.
Yeah.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is the best day ever.
There you go. That's yours.
Oh my gosh. Sure. You guys. Are me and Lil Wayne best friends? This is incredible.
Gift.
Wow.
I got mine on.
Yeah, Shannon always got
By the way,
his on.
Lil Wayne did enclose a note
Really?
in the two gifts that he sent to me,
What'd he
and
say?
I'm going to read that note.
Okay.
Dear Skip, I wanted to give you and Jenny a little something to thank you for having me on the show so often. I also sent Shannon something just so he wouldn't feel left out.
That's how it is.
And the inference was that ours were a little better than his.
Hey.
I mean, can you say cubic zirconia? Can you say that? I don't know. Can you say that about Shannon?
Come on, Weave. You gonna do unk like that?
Oh, come on.
This is the nicest gift I've
It
ever
is.
received.
Thank
It's
you,
really
Wayne.
nice.
Wayne,
Really,
thank
yeah,
you
really
so
nice.
much. Wow, can he come on the show every day? That was
Yeah.
really special. I feel really part of the family.
Hey, Skip, how you doing today?
How you feeling,
I'm
Shannon?
good.
You like our gifts?
I love them. I love them. I mean,
thank
you know, he said he had a little something for y'all, but you know,
Okay.
he had to take care of Unk first.
Oh,
so
yeah.
get Unk out the way.
Okay.
But you
You'll
know
be
the day
reminding
is Skip?
us.
The day is August 22nd. The day is my sister's 59th birthday.
Aw.
She
Oh,
named me.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Sis?
Your name is not Olivia. Your name is Libby or Buck. She's telling everybody her name is Olivia. Her name
So,
is Buck.
so she's younger sister.
You whatever.
Yeah, right.
I'm the youngest. And look, every bit of 42.
Well, happy birthday
Thank
to
you.
her. That means we're going to have a good day.
Here we
Thank
go.
you, Lil
All right,
Wayne.
bro, I'm good.
We have a packed show.
Uh-oh.
Let's get on with
Uh-oh.
it. Should the Eagles be concerned that Carson Wentz
Whoa.
might not
God, that
play
is
in
scary.
the preseason? It was Dak's rookie year a fluke?
That hurts, Skip.
We'll talk about it. First, we are going to start with the GOAT. Pro Football Focus ranked Tom Brady as the #1 starting quarterback heading into the season. The Patriots also remain the betting favorites to win the Super Bowl, according to our friends at Fox Bet. But at 42 years old, many are wondering how much more Brady has left in the tank. His contract makes it easy for the Patriots to part ways with the quarterback after this season. And remember, he has also put up his Boston area home on the market. ESPN's Adam Schefter said, from the outside looking in, this has the potential to be Brady's final season in New England. Brady is expected to get his first and last preseason action tonight as the Patriots take on the Panthers. So, Shannon, do you think this is Brady's last year in New England?
Skip, I do, and I've kind of said that all along. I really felt that 20 years, I didn't say it was going to be his last year playing NFL football, but I felt it would be his last year in New England. And there are a lot of indicators, and, you know, I didn't, at the time when I said this a couple of years ago, Skip, I didn't know anything about he's going to put his house on the market, obviously. But I just think the biggest indicator for me is that Tom Brady has made it abundantly clear he wants to play until he's 45. Mr. Kraft, who owns the team, has made it abundantly clear he believes Tom can play till he's 45. My only concerns were, not concerns yet, question was, if you believe that and Tom is still playing at the level that you deem that's high, goatish, why would you only give him an $8 million signing bonus on a $70 million extension? You could have easily given him split the difference because normally you get anywhere between 50 to 75% of your money guaranteed. But he only got $8 million. So basically, you gave him an $8 million bonus this year on top of the $15 million that he was already making. Now, Skip, you know, I don't want to sneeze and say 23 million. But considering what the quarterback market is going for now and who Tom Brady is, you know good and well, they should have given him 35, 40, $50 million. They give him $50 million. I'm not going to be like, I can't believe Tom Brady making $50 million. Because I think he's earned it. And if you believe what he said to be true, that he wants to play until he's 45, and he's going to continue to play at the level in which he's playing at, why wouldn't you do that? And then when you start looking at, look, obviously, Skip, a serious injury, something happened like that, and I don't normally do this for anybody, but I don't want to see him have to leave because of a premature injury if he wants to continue to play. But I just think there are signs that indicate, and I thought this would have been sped up had Jimmy G stayed. Okay. But clearly, once the Jimmy G situation was resolved by Mr. Kraft, I just believe Coach Belichick went back into the draft, found him a quarterback that he likes, Jason Stidham, and he says, okay, Jared Stidham, and he says, okay, Josh, coach him up. Because, Skip, for me, and you and I both believe this, that Coach Belichick believes in his system. He believes that he can get any other piece. I don't care what position you play, what side of the ball you play on. He believes that he can go get him a guy and fit in and never miss a beat. So there are indicators, and I feel that this is his last year in New England.
So, Jenny, I think we have some revisionist history going on across the table about predictions that have been made, things that have been said on this show before.
What'd I say?
And I think somebody is revising what somebody has said before, because somebody across from me, if memory serves, has predicted for 3 straight years here on Undisputed that this will be Tom Brady's final season of football. No. But somebody has now revised that prediction to include, well, gee, it might not be his last season of football, but it will be his last season in New England, says Shannon Sharpe.
I said it was going to be his last year in New England. Now, he might have to go somewhere else and continue, but I said...
But I don't recall, this is a new twist to the plot on your part.
Well, I was sitting pretty until Mr. Kraft made Coach Belichick get off Jimmy G. I would have been right, Skip Bayless, and you know it.
Okay, but... You were saying this is it for football for Tom Brady, so you would have been half right, I guess, but he would have continued playing football elsewhere,
and I still believe he's going to continue.
Okay, and so here's what you're telling me.
Okay.
That the quarterback who, and by the way, yesterday you were all for Pro Football Focus's ranking of Dak Prescott at 17th. You said they got that dead right.
Dead right.
Right? Okay. Now, can we say they got it dead right that Tom Brady is number 1 on the list? Tom Brady, going into year of age 42? Really? He's number 1 on the list?
How about this? I can see why they put him number 1 on their list for the simple fact, I guess they took a couple of years of data, but he wouldn't be number 1 on mine. I would have my homeboy number 1.
But so which way is it? Did they get it right about Dak and wrong about Brady?
I tell you all the time, 2 things can be true. They can get 1 right and 1 wrong.
Okay, but let's look at their breakdown of Tom Brady, and it was very objective. It was almost overly objective, because they also agree with you that he took a step back last year. I did not see that. I especially didn't see that in the postseason.
So are you agreeing with me, or you disagreeing with them?
But their takeaway line on this, expect more of the same from Tom Brady in 2019. So if we can project from this that we're going to see pretty much the same Brady we saw last year, the same guy who beat Mahomes twice, beat Aaron Rodgers, won at Chicago, do I need to go on and on? Had the number 1 seed sewed up until Bill Belichick blew the game at Miami.
That's the same guy that lost to Marcus Mariota, lost to Matthew Stafford. That guy?
And he somehow rose above those losses to have them in position to have the 1 seed last year until Belichick allowed the Miami Miracle at the end of that game.
Oh, that's Coach Belichick's fault, huh?
Well,
it's called a miracle.
Not the head
it's called
coach?
A miracle.
Well, does he not preside over the special teams, right? Okay. So the point is, this guy who's ranked number 1 by Pro Football Focus, and they are predicting he will have just the same kind of year he had last year, in which he won the Super Bowl. His team is now once again favored with no Gronkowski to win this upcoming Super Bowl. That guy is going to somehow fail to the point that Robert Kraft will agree with Bill Belichick, it's time to cut bait with Tom Brady. Is that what you're saying? That's what you're telling me?
I said it.
Okay. And so we look at the schedule of the New England Patriots, and I told you back before the draft, back in early April, it was after Gronk had quote-unquote retired. We don't know if he will stay retired the whole year, but I looked at the schedule and I said, this is easy by New England standards. So again, are the Jets better? Yes, they're better. Have they had a couple of big losses in their linebacker core here the last couple of days? Yes, they have. But are they a better all-around football team with Le'Veon Bell? Yes, they're a little better. Are they good enough to unseat New England in the division? No, they are not. Is Buffalo better than they were? Yes, they're better. Their quarterback's 1 year more experience, and he does have some capabilities. Are they good enough to win a game against New England this year? No, they're not. Has Miami taken a step step back in the division. Yes, Miami has taken a step back with the new head coach who used to be under Bill Belichick.
You don't like Fitz? I thought you liked Fitz magic.
No, I mean, again, do you?
No,
Okay,
you already
not
know
that
I
much.
don't.
Can they win a couple of games here?
Right.
They probably will. But the point is, I stick by what I said. I believe that New England will lose to Pittsburgh in the opener at New England because I like the Steelers this year. And then I got them going 13-3, and maybe it could be better than that because I just don't see anything dangerous on this schedule. And what's the most dangerous game for New England every year? It's the late season game at Miami.
Right.
That's always the nemesis for Tom Brady. They get to go to Miami in week 2. So they will be coming out of summer in New England, hot, drippy summer, it feels just like Miami to me. And then they get to go September 15th to Miami. They get that out of the way. Guess who they get to finish with? At home against the Bills and the Dolphins. You like that?
Well, Skip, look, we can look at the schedule all we want to, but you also know that there comes a time that teams that you think's not going to be good will be good, and
possible.
teams that you think that's going to be good will be bad.
Okay.
But for me, Skip, you said the article started off said he took a step back. Well, if you took a step back in 2018 and you expect more of the same in 2019, what is that telling you?
They're just saying he'll play just the way he did last year.
But he took a step back.
Okay. But again, if he took a step back from all-time greatness to pretty great, was it good enough to get them to the Super Bowl last year and win it? Yes, it was.
But just because that was good enough in 2018 doesn't mean it'll be good enough in 2019. And Skip,
okay, so let's do glasses half empty. Okay. Let's do your scenario, your hypothetical. Let's say that for whatever reason, Julian Edelman's just now coming back from his broken hand, and who knows when Josh Gordon will be able to play.
Right.
And N'Keal Harry, the kid they drafted late in the first round, who I love and I think could change Tom Brady's life, has some lower leg injury that's kept him out of much of camp. So let's just say they get off to a rocky start and they lose at Miami and whatever. And we go on into a shaky year, but they still wind up, let's say they have to go to Kansas City again to play the AFC Championship game. And this time, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes figure it out. And they hold off Tom Brady and they win the game because they have improved their defense just enough to do that, okay? Do you think that Robert Kraft, in his right mind, would cut bait with Tom Brady after another AFC Championship game, which would be their 9th straight? So they've gone to 9 straight years of championship games or better. Yeah, you really think he'd do that?
Yeah.
You don't?
I just told you I believe it's going to be his last year.
Okay.
So whether it's Coach Belichick's call, whether it's Mr. Kraft's call, or maybe Tom says
It's always Mr. Kraft's call.
Hold on. Whether Tom says I've had enough of this, y'all taking me for granted, not paying me what I was properly worth. Yes, I taking less money, but I deserve to be compensated fairly on the back end. Whatever the case may be, yes, I believe 20 this year, his 20th in New England will be his last.
Okay, I want to be completely, absolutely on record. This will not be Tom Brady's last year playing football or playing for the New England Patriots. I want to be very clear about that. I am on record in concrete. He will play next year in New England and the next year in New England because it's just too good to be true. And Robert Kraft loves Tom Brady far more than he loves Bill Belichick. I'm sorry,
but
he will always side with Tom Brady.
But he loves winning, and he knows Coach Belichick is the main reason why he continues to do that.
Does not
he
know
realized that
he
he spent $140, $150 million buying the Patriots, and they're worth like $3.5, $3.6
so
billion.
If he believes so strongly in Bill Belichick, why did he say, Bill, I'm sorry, you're wrong about Jimmy G, trade him? Why did he say that?
Hey, the first
Was he right?
It was a
Yes.
first, Skip. It's the first and last time. I mean, Jenny, you don't win all the arguments, do you? Sometimes you let Matt win to make him feel good. Mr. Coach Belichick had to get his hand slapped because Mr. Kraft was like, Billy, he called him Billy. Billy, you winning all these things. I'm gonna stand pat on this one, but the next time I'm gonna let you have your way.
Okay. So let's do the hypothetical that will never happen, which is where would Tom Brady go next year?
Yeah.
If, in fact, I don't know if they would try to trade him. They would probably do him the service, do him the justice of just saying,
release him, let him go
you
on his
just
own.
go pick like Peyton
Right.
was able to just
Right.
go free agent. Where
Right.
do you want to go, Peyton? I think I'll go to Denver.
Right.
And magic happened.
Yeah.
in Denver, right?
Skip, the thing is, look, we all know, just like Peyton had his choices. Okay, Tennessee was interested, the Broncos, Arizona, San Francisco. Tom Brady's going to have somewhere between 6 and 10 teams, unless they have a true established starter. one of these top 10 guys, he's not going to go there. But there'll be some situations that teams will be willing to, even if they signed a guy, that they'll be willing to get off for Tom Brady, because at the end of the day, he is Tom Brady. And the Broncos signed Peyton, and Peyton was coming off that neck surgery, Skip. He could barely throw the ball 10 yards.
Yep.
And we know Tom Brady can throw the ball further than 10 yards. Just saying, Skip.
Okay, and I'm just saying Denver is high on the list.
Yeah.
Denver would be high on that list.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Do you think Joe Flacco, do you think they're wedded to Joe Flacco till death do they
No.
part? Nope.
No.
Sorry.
No. As a matter of fact, they eloped.
Okay.
It's not even official yet.
Not official.
correct.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, Tom Brady was reportedly interested in going back to his home area because he grew up a 49er fan.
Sure.
And now they have his backup quarterback who is about to be his next quarterback, right? And I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo continues to play the way he played in the last preseason game. I don't know. But they owe him way too much money. I'm going to say that's not going to happen, even though the 49ers appear to me to be a team on the verge where he might get there just the right time.
I mean, Denver is a real possibility, Skip.
Okay.
And, we give him a lot of control, a lot of say what you need.
Okay, and here I'll throw one more curveball at you. Tom Brady also loves him some Southern California because he and Giselle have owned a home here near where LeBron lives in Brentwood. And there's another team in L.A. not named the Rams. It's called the Chargers, coached by a good friend of yours.
Hello.
And I'm just going to say, what if Phillip Rivers comes up short yet again this year? You realize he's destined to be a free agent after this year. So is it possible they would cut bait with Phillip Rivers and say, yes, we would love Tom Brady to take over our team on the verge because that is a loaded football team.
They are.
Yep.
They are. They need to get Melvin Gordon back. I like him in the blue and orange better.
Do you?
He can do what old Peyton does.
So all of a sudden you would be driving the Tom Brady bandwagon in blue and orange, correct? You like
We'd
that?
be in the money.
So here's where I'm with you. I believe Bill Belichick would love for this to be Tom Brady's last year. And I am already suspicious of the way that Bill Belichick is handling Tom Brady's preseason snaps. And I can't wait for tonight to see exactly if and how long Tom Brady plays. Because I told you a year ago in Game 2, he played 39 snaps and threw 26 passes.
Right.
That was Game 2 of the preseason.
Right.
This Game 2, suddenly, shockingly, he played 0.
Right.
Why was that? He wanted to play, but Coach Belichick said no. So now we get to the quote-unquote dress rehearsal Game 3, and will he be allowed to play? Or is it possible that Belichick will some way say, I don't know, I don't want to play him this year?
It might be a situation, Jenny, you can attest to this. Have you ever been in a situation, Jenny, you're like, you okay, you kind of like it, but you like, I kind of wish he'd break up with me. But you don't want to be the bad guy. It's like that with Coach Belichick.
Like you sabotage the situation.
Coach Belichick wants to move on, but he really would wish Tom would just break up and say, you know what, guys, I just want to. So it keeps him from being the bad guy.
Love to feature Jared Stidham in the dress rehearsal Game 3? Yes, he would, just so he could make the case to Mr. Kraft. Do you see what I found again?
Yeah.
I got my new Jimmy G.
And because I think the thing is what Coach Belichick looks at, Skip, because the backup quarterback takes all the scout team's reps. And a lot of times, Coach Belichick might throw a little wrinkle in there. He says, like, look, this guy sees some of my, especially in training camp, sees my defenses all the time.
Yep.
And I'm the great defensive mind in NFL right now and maybe ever.
Yep.
If he can handle what I can throw at him, I know if I put him in this system and I need him to play and play well, after what I've thrown at him, there's no question in my mind he can stand up to the pressure. See, Coach Belichick, they're always coaching, they're always observing. And they know, Coach Belichick really knows who can do what, when, and how. So I think a lot of that's at play here. Skip, there is something, because Jimmy Garoppolo was not playing in a lot of games. There's something that led Coach Belichick to believe that he could move on from Tom Brady and would not miss a beat with Jimmy Garoppolo, considering that Jimmy had never gotten in the game. And that's not by accident, because Tom Brady does not, good quarterbacks, they don't want you ever looking at another quarterback in a game situation and have you getting any bright ideas that you can move on without me.
That is correct. I'm going to say it one more time about Jared Stidham. I watched a lot of him at Baylor first and then much more at Auburn. And He is athletic.
Yeah.
He can run. We've seen him run in this preseason.
Right.
He can take off and he can motor.
Yes.
Got a nice arm, got nice stature about him, but under fire at Auburn in some of their biggest games, his poise under fire left something to be desired. That's just me.
Well, Skip, Baylor, they throw the ball around. So he had a lot of experience throwing the ball around in Baylor at open set.
He's a Texas kid.
Yes.
Yep.
And most Tech, they throw the ball now.
Does he have potential? Yes. Could I see Belichick falling in love, being enamored of him? I can. Tom Brady, in his weekly WEEI appearance, was asked the other day, do you want to play in preseason game number 3? And he said, boy, I hope I play. Again, we had practice yesterday. We practice again today. And then we'll see what coach decides. I hope to be out there. We'll see what happens. Again, he always defers to whatever coach says I have to do, because Tom has always been coachable.
Yeah.
But to me, we will see. I can't wait for kickoff tonight to see how long Tom lasts, if he gets to play at all. And if he doesn't get to play, you're going to hear sabotage from me.
Well, and that was the thing, Skip, because Coach Belichick normally does what he does the opposite.
Yep.
So if Tom said, well, I don't really care, I've been yada, yada, he's going to play in. So Tom is like, hey, I'm going to leave it up to him, hoping Coach Belichick's like, Tom wants to sit down. He's going to play. Look, Coach Belichick, when you have those kind of credentials, Skip, very little that you do gets questioned. That's why we didn't get the whole. You did, but there were not a lot of people that really questioned the move that Coach Belichick made in the Super Bowl, benching Malcolm Butler, because so many of his other moves have worked out so well. And when you get 6 Super Bowls in 9 appearances, you build up a little, a good service, and then people are like, okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
A bunch of Patriots questioned that move right after that game.
Yes,
Tom
they
Brady
did.
appeared to question that move via Instagram.
Tom, don't do that.
Yeah.
Nice to know, Jenny, you sabotaged a couple of your relationships along the way.
Well, yeah, their relationship fascinates me. How many people do you know that have this kind of relationship that is this successful? It's an interesting dynamic.
It is the most fascinating story in sports, and it starts tonight to me.
Starts tonight.
Saboteur.
We are moving on from the GOAT to the rookie. You're saying that's me? Should Kyler Murray be worried about his new offense? We'll discuss all of that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Rothy's are the everyday flats for life on the go. They're stylish, comfortable, and go with everything from yoga pants to dresses and skirts. They've quickly become a most loved, gotta have them brand thanks to their wide range of colors and patterns, with new ones launching constantly, and there's zero break-in period. Since Rothy's are crafted using 3D knitting techniques and hand assembly, their seamless design means a right out of the box comfort. Best of all, they're made from recycled plastic water bottles. That's right, over 25 million water bottles have been diverted from landfills to make these gorgeous and sustainable shoes. Another major bonus, they're fully machine washable, so your pair will be fresh and ready every laundry day. Plus, Rothy's always comes with free shipping and free returns and exchanges. There's no risk and no reason not to try. You'll quickly discover why BuzzFeed called them their forever shoes. Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/cadence. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com. That's ROTHYS.com/cadence today.
No mercy.
Carson Wentz hasn't played in a game since Week 14 of last season in a loss to Skip's Cowboys. Wentz missed the final 3 weeks and the playoffs due to a back injury. He has yet to play in the preseason, and he's not expected to play tonight against the Ravens. Wentz said regardless of whether he plays tonight or not, he will be ready to go Week 1. So, Shannon, how concerned are you that Wentz won't play any snaps before Week 1?
I'm not really concerned because, Skip, I think the risk of picking up a unwarranted injury outweighs being off a little bit. And for me, I know, and I think the thing is that they've seen their backups go down, Skip, and they see the injury history with Carson over the last 2 years, and maybe they're like, why risk it? Yes, you would like to see. For me, Skip, I was a guy, I wanted to get rhythm because I wanted to have my adrenaline flowing and what it was going to be like to breathe and run routes and have people banging on me in a crowd of 80,000 people screaming and yelling. That's different. People are like, well, they're getting practice. Practice is different than a game.
Totally agree.
So I wanted that. Some guys like, nah, I'm good. I just want to roll out. I couldn't imagine, Skip, playing my last game in January and not playing in meaningful football again until the following September. I just found it would be hard for me. But for Carson Wentz, Skip, I think, will he be a little rusty because he got D-Jack, drafted a receiver very high out of Stanford. So I think he would like to have some timing in a meaningful game in the preseason.
Yep.
But the risk of injury, given his history, and knowing that your backups have gone down, Skip, there is no Nick Foles now. You just signed a guy that had a job similar to you and ours, Skip, a week ago.
Yeah.
And you just signed him. He was wearing a shirt and tie one day, and the next day he got a pair of cleats and shoulder pads.
Yep.
So I just think they're being overly cautious. But I tell you this, I just believe if this kid could get past this year, Skip, with no injuries, I believe he will have turned the corner. It's just right now, early in his career, he just can't get past that injury bug. And I know what it was like because early in my career, I dealt with ankle and knee problems. But once I got past it, it was smooth sailing from there on.
So I think I just heard the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe say out of one side of his mouth, well, he really has no concerns, but out of the other side, he said he has grave concerns because he needs to play some preseason.
I would like to see him play, but I think the Eagles are looking at it, Skip. We would rather have him a little rusty, where his timing is off just a tad, as opposed to run the unnecessary risk, considering they've seen their previous two backups go down with an injury.
I am sorry to report this across the table to you, but this is yet another bad sign for limpet to him Wentz.
Hey,
or
Walker.
as I call him, Carson Wentz, as W-I-N-C-E, because every time I think about his injury history, I wince.
He gonna make you and them Cowboys eat those words.
Like last year he did twice.
No,
We
the
beat
year
him
before, the
twice.
year before.
Oh, yeah, when we didn't have anybody left. I'm going to say this one more time, and I will be right about this. No player in the National Football League has more pressure going into this season on him than your still young, fairly inexperienced quarterback has on him. And now, inconceivably, he will play no preseason snaps with several new components on offense, especially that deep threat
Yes.
receiver of his. So to your point, there's nothing like live game action, especially, I mean, even if it's just preseason, but you can camp practice all you want against the Ravens. There's just a level of intensity.
It is.
There's a level of bright lights, screaming people that takes it somewhere else.
And Skip, when you scrimmage against another team, you've already been briefed. We're not putting anybody on the ground. We're not going to do anything crazy. But you know, come game time, there are no red jerseys.
Yeah.
Everybody is fair game. There's no off limits.
Ask Kyler Murray, whom we're about to talk about
Yes,
next,
we are.
right? So now, your young quarterback that you love is going into his fourth
season,
Yeah.
same as that, yes.
With the most guaranteed money paid to him of any player in the National Football League, and yet his game experience has gone down from, he did last 16 games as a rookie, and he was not very good as a rookie, and then it fell to 13 games, and he had one great stretch as a second-year player, and then it fell to 11 games. So it goes 16, 13, 11. The Cowboy teams I covered back in the 1980s had a name for a player like Carson Wentz. They called him the Eggman. The Eggman as in fragile, as in he's played no preseason snaps because he will snap like a twig if you hit him.
Oh, he missed the glass, huh?
Mr. Glass, there you go. And Carson Wentz, I'm reading in the camp practices and even the scrimmages against the Ravens, is trying to run less and less because he just can't risk running.
Right.
When running was a key component of what made Carson Wentz so good for that stretch in his second year.
Evolution. We are evolving.
Really?
Yeah.
So now, deer in headlights,
I
Carson
don't
Wentz
see
is
there you
going to be
go.
stuck in the pocket trying to speed read when he's not really a speed reader. He's got weapons everywhere. He's got expectations higher, loftier than the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. Am I right?
Yep.
Because you think this team's got a shot.
Yes,
fact,
they're loaded.
Yeah, is
they
this-
are loaded.
Possibly Shannon's Super Bowl pick?
It might be.
Possibly. It could be.
I know they're going to win in the East.
And yet, all of a sudden, your guy, walk it to him as you call him, Wentz, goes into this season with no more safety net because he got saved by the safety net known as the Magic Man, Nick Foles, both of the last 2 years, which means that your guy, Carson Wentz, has played also 0 playoff snaps. 0. He makes $108 guaranteed million, the most in the NFL, with 0 playoff experience and fairly limited regular season experience.
That changes this year.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Really? Because now he's played in a grand total of 40 games. My guy Dak, who's also going in his 4th year, has played 51 games to your guy's 40.
Yeah.
That's 11 more games of experience. That's pretty significant to me.
And my guy still got many touchdowns as your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all them.
Interesting. Huh.
Because he ain't dinking and dacking.
My
guy throwing down, getting big plays, big plays.
My guy is 33-18 as a starter. Your guy's 23-17. So the losses are pretty close. But man, my guy's won 11 more games than your guy because my guy just wins. That's all he does.
Well, we'll find out this year who wins the most
And
games.
by the way, there was a story back somewhere during the offseason.
There you
Philly
go, bringing up
Voice.
old stuff.
Yeah, headline, sources inside Eagles paint Carson Wentz as selfish, uncompromising, and playing favorites. This story went on to say that he refused when he got back into the lineup to run any, what he called Foles stuff, because he resented the hell out of the fact that Nick Foles was beloved in the locker room to the point they built a shrine to him in the locker room. Who was
Chris
it?
Long did it.
Right?
Yes, but he just the other day, did you see this? Came out and said he is a great leader and a first-class human being.
Wait, who said that?
Chris Long,
Oh,
just
Chris-
the other day, came out and said, I don't know what that article was about.
okay.
He
Yeah,
is
we don't know what it's about.
actually
Now
a
Chris
good
Long's
leader.
gotta
He said
say
it was
that.
No, you don't
BS.
have to.
Well, he's retired.
He's retired,
No.
but he said the article was BS.
Okay,
I just,
all right,
for
okay,
reference, he
okay.
did come out and clarify that.
Well, but the point was he loved him some Nick Foles.
He did.
This team loved Nick Foles, who took them on 2 magic carpet rides in 2 straight postseasons. Not just one. It wasn't fluke number 1. It was 2 quote-unquote flukes because he beat Atlanta, he beat Jenny's Vikings, and he somehow overcame Belichick's Patriots. He hung 40 on them. And then what did he do?
Outgunned Tom Brady.
Guess what? Then last year he goes to Chicago, wins, and he was on his way to winning at New Orleans until Alshon Jeffrey, Carson Wentz's favorite target, dropped a pass that hit him right in the hands. So we
did.
might be having a very different conversation right now. But Nick Foles is a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Let me tell you about the conversation. Now, Earl Thomas played for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
And the Baltimore Ravens are scrimmaging
Yep.
the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is what Earl Thomas. Now, Earl Thomas is, I believe, the best free safety in football.
Yep.
This is what he said about one, walk it to him, Carson Wentz. I would tell you, in this league, there's a small pool of guys that you would classify at an elite level. And I think he's definitely in that pool. Now, I don't know how many skills.
I'm so happy he said that
No.
because the expectations go way beyond, go 2 Liberty Bells high.
Yeah.
Good. Love it. Bring it on.
When you trade,
Gotta see it.
When you trade what the Eagles traded to get this young man, the expectations were always going to be there. That's what made John Elway so unbelievable. Considering what the Broncos gave up to get him, it was always going to be pressure. And he always met those expectations. I expect nothing less than this young man to meet and exceed those expectations this year. You're
All I
going to
can
be very
say is-
disappointed that you kept calling him limp it to him and WINC. You're going to be disappointed, Skip.
You like that? WINC?
No, I don't like it.
It's
No,
funny.
it's walk it to him.
Yeah, like it. Your guy had better live up because I will predict right here, right now, I have covered many games that the Eagles played in the city of brotherly love or shove. Sometimes it's a city of brotherly shove when it gets to the Eagles games. They are quick to boo. I think they are the quickest to boo in all of pro football, all of pro sports. So the first home interception that he throws, and there will be one of those, you just know some people are going to sit back in the stands and say, God, would Nick Foles have thrown that interception? We had Nick Foles. He was the Super Bowl MVP. And now we're stuck with limp it to him?
Oh, they're
Really?
stuck, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's where you're heading with this.
Well, I'll tell you what, that article said that walking to him was selfish. Stephen Jones say Dak's selfish. He won't give us a discount. Ain't that what he said? That what Stephen said. I'm just going by what Stephen said. Did Stephen say that?
Dak Prescott just might be the best leader in the NFC because we know that guy in Foxborough is the best leader in the
Oh,
NFC.
so we just go disregard Drew Brees now. Drew Brees doesn't even matter anymore.
Pretty good, but Dak Prescott.
What about
is-
Russell? So we
I don't know.
Russell
Dak
Wilson.
Prescott he is a force in my locker room. Nobody has ever questioned his leadership the way Carson Wentz's has been questioned.
Have they ever questioned Russell Wilson?
Nope. Nope. Well, yeah, no, wait a second. What am I saying? Yes, they have. They think he's the pet of Pete Carroll. Am I right?
That didn't have anything to do with
It's
his
not about leadership. That was not the locker room split over are we with or against Russell Wilson,
Where they turned,
the teacher's pet?
And even with all that, it's still flying.
What's that?
I say, even with all that, when the locker room was split and it seems the defense was against the offense, Russell Wilson kept his head high and still was the delivering player.
He's high class, high quality, and yet, boy, he rode the coattails of the Legion of Boom.
Oh, my goodness. There you go. See,
Am I right?
No.
Has Dak Prescott ever had the Legion of Boom?
No, he got
Maybe
Zeke.
one day
he got
will.
Zeke.
Yeah.
Oh, what about last year? So that defense was terrible last year, huh?
Boy, it was in the playoff game.
Oh, you.
Was it not here? Got run off the field, gave up 230 yards rush.
You know what?
You calling that Legion of Boom?
I can't with
That's
you.
Legion of Doom.
No mercy.
I'm Jenny Taft. Thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. But before the show moves along, here's a quick word from our friends over at the Fantasy Footballers podcast. The NFL season is back, and that means one thing. It's fantasy football time. The Fantasy Footballers podcast is the most downloaded fantasy football podcast for a reason. It has the most accurate rankings as measured by fantasy pros, so you have a leg up on your competition. Want to dominate the waiver wire in your league? Be the first to find those hidden sleepers or grab those breakout stars before everyone else? Then you should listen to the Fantasy Footballers podcast to get the most up-to-date intel to win your matchup each week. Subscribe right now to the Fantasy Footballers podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also visit them on the web at thefantasyfootballers.com. Subscribe now and dominate your fantasy football league.
No mercy.
Kyler Murray doesn't think his 3-for-8 performance against the Raiders last week is anything to be concerned about. The rookie QB attributed the lackluster performance to it being the preseason. And after the game, Hard Knocks cameras caught Kyler asking Antonio Brown why the Raiders had to blitz him so much. Earlier this week, Cliff Kingsbury said that he's intentionally keeping his play calling close to the vest in the preseason. And yesterday, Murray explained just how limited the Cardinals' offense is right now. Take a listen.
It gets frustrating when, there might not be anything open and we go out there and we look like how we looked last week. And then, people are talking about you. But you also got to understand, like I said, it's preseason and we were running literally 6 or 7 plays. So, there's nothing to be too negative about just because we know what's really going on.
Uh-huh.
Shannon, how concerned should the Cardinals be about their offense?
They should be very concerned. I don't care if you run 6 plays or you run 600 plays. If you can't block, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You see, Skip, so what? Cliff Kingsbury says we're not running a whole lot of plays, and he says, we on a limited basis. So is blocking on a limited basis? Is that what you do? He said, look here, guys, we're not going to show you anything, so offensive lineman, don't you show them that you can block. Is that what you're telling me, Skip Bayless? I don't think so. And I tried to tell you, Skip Bayless, I tried to warn you, I tried to save you from yourself, because that's what teammates, that's what good friends do. We save each other.
Good friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, Skip, what you don't understand is that he's leaving a situation where he had the best offensive line in football, and he's embarking upon a situation where he's going to the worst offensive line in football. Now, that offensive line is so bad. Now, I don't know if Josh Rosen can play or not, but the line was so bad that they went back into the draft after taking a quarterback with a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
They got another one with the first overall pick. But if this offensive line doesn't play any better than what it's played over the last couple of years, they'll be back in the draft again looking for a quarterback because they're going to get this one hurt. Now, what you see, Skip Bayless, because he is smallish and he is willing to give himself up without a whole lot of fight, you see him go down quite easily. And the blueprint is out there. They're going to heat him up, Skip Bayless. You know that, I know that, because you want.
They're going to try.
Even young quarterbacks, you want to speed their process up.
Absolutely.
We don't want you to sit back there patting the football. We're going to speed you up. And even when we don't, we're going to make you think we're speeding you up because we want you to see ghosts. The problem that they have, Skip, I don't know if it's schematically, I don't know if this scheme that Cliff Kingsbury brought to the NFL, I don't know if it'll work or not. I don't care if you run 4 wides, 5 wides, I don't care if you run the veer. If you can't block, you can't win. And that is their problem. I don't know how good Kyler Murray is going to be because I know this, he's not going to complete very many passes on his back, and he won't last very long if that offensive line doesn't play any better than what it played last Monday night against the Raiders. You know that, and I know that.
All I know is I stand by what I have said about Kyler Murray from the start, which was early last year at the University of Oklahoma. He is an extraordinary talent and clutch performer. I have rarely seen such poise in a quarterback on the college football level because he stepped onto the field right into the shoes of the reigning Heisman winner who had just been the #1 overall pick in the draft, Baker Mayfield.
Correct.
And he took it up a level.
You did?
Jenny witnessed it.
Oh, yeah.
He was not afraid. And when he says, I feel no pressure, he's been in the spotlight his whole career. He's been, as Cliff Kingsbury says, he's been small his whole career. This is not new for him. Obviously, little legs. But he has been extraordinary in baseball and football to the point that he was obviously a high draft pick by Billy Beane in the Oakland A's. And yet he chose football and he made the right decision, and it will turn out to be the right decision. And I am going to discount what I saw a week ago tonight at Arizona.
Why?
Because I saw Hard Knocks this past Tuesday night, and I got to hear John Gruden's rah-rah speech before Game 2 of the preseason, in which he's trying to light a bonfire under his football team by showing Kyler's highlights from OU last year.
Come and get it.
I saw that, yeah.
Did you see it?
That's that gravy train.
He is raving about he has
that.
never seen a dual threat. Never, ever seen, says John Gruden, never seen a dual threat like this kid. And then he shows the flick of the wrist pass that he threw against St. Nick's team. Remember this? The national semifinal?
Yeah, I remember.
John Gruden says, I'm just paraphrasing, he says, have you ever seen a quarterback wrist flick a ball 60 yards right on the dot in the back of the end zone for a touchdown? He said, you better be ready because he can hurt you. And we got to, I'm quoting John here, we got to get after his ass. Am I right?
Yeah.
So he instructed Paul Gunther to do something that was
Heat him up.
borderline unsportsmanlike.
No, this football.
It's breaking the gentleman's agreement of Game 2. This is preseason Game 2.
If you're a gentleman, play tennis.
Okay.
Play golf. We ain't no gentleman stuff going on in football, Skip Bayless. You know that.
Jimmy Connors would, and John McEnroe would say, hell with gentlemen, right? But the point is, Paul Gunther comes out and just blitzes the hell out of this kid. Like from first snap on, they are sending the house to the point that Kyler did walk over to Antonio after the game and said, hey, man, why you bring the house on me? Bring the house.
You remember the old commercial with the gravy train, the dog food, and they ring the bell and come and get it.
Yeah.
That's what John Gruden was doing.
Okay.
He was ringing that bell.
Boy,
come and get it.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, come get it.
I'm impressed.
Okay, how about this?
Ugh.
Skip, you could say, you know what? In the preseason, we don't want to show you anything. We're going to be really vanilla. We're going to be vanilla in our formations. We're going to be vanilla in our routes.
Yep.
When have you ever been vanilla in your blocking scheme?
Okay. What did I tell you the other day? This was vanilla versus chocolate thunder.
Yeah.
They were bringing thunder on.
That's why I had a
poor
big old
little
fondue
Kyler,
fountain going.
right? And I will agree with you on one thing and one thing only. This is a bad football team around Kyler Murray. And I saw it on full display because Oakland's, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Arizona is really bad.
It's terrible.
And it's getting worse because I had such high hopes for Kevin White. I don't know if you know Kevin White from West Virginia.
Yeah.
In college football, I would watch him just bully other teams.
Yep.
He would just go up and just snatch it from people. And he gets drafted high by Chicago.
Like
and
7, I think, 7 or 9.
Hurt. I thought that was actually too low for him. But he got hurt, and then he got hurt the next year. And he winds up in Arizona and pulls his hamstring. And finally, even Cliff Kingsbury, who's close to Dana Holgerson, who coached him at West Virginia, and I'm sure they had high hopes like, God, we got something here. We got diamond in the rough.
Right.
And finally, they cut bait and signed a guy I'm not that high on in Michael Crabtree. I've never been a big fan of his. He played at Texas Tech Cliff Kingsbury. He didn't play for Cliff. But the point is, so now it's Michael Crabtree and...
He might be good, Skip, because they ain't got no... I don't know. That ain't going to be good, because you know who Talib played for the Rams. Debo going to snatch that chain. You know, Crabtree coming out there.
And
they
as
ain't going
much
to be good.
as I love and admire Larry Fitz, but he's getting up there.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, what are we up to?
As year 16, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
And then I like Christian Kirk, but is it enough? And I like Trent Sherfield from Vanderbilt University, but is it enough? And I loved Hakeem Butler that they drafted in the 4th round. They stole him from Iowa State. I don't know if you got to see him.
A little bit, yeah, I did.
6'6", 225, and he just broke his hand and might be gone for the season. So all of a sudden, poor little Kyler is way up against it. That offense was statistically the worst in the last 40 years in the National Football League.
Yes.
And is it that much better now?
No, Skip. Think about this here. Okay, you draft Kyler Murray with the #1 overall pick. The problem that you have last year, you can say it was quarterback, but they couldn't protect him. So what do? They get more wide receivers. Now, if you're playing 7-on-7 and you got nobody that's going to rush Kyler Murray and he's just going to throw the ball around, that's perfect. But you draft quarterback, wide receiver. You don't get offensive linemen until round 6 and round 7. And you expect to be good?
Yep, okay. So I will give you this much. I trust Kyler a lot more than I trust Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay.
Because Kyler can play. I don't know if Cliff, who got fired at Texas Tech after going 35-40, I'm not sure his stuff will work at this level. I think it will.
Right.
Because it really worked on the offensive side at Texas Tech, and you know, it was a pipeline of quarterbacks to pro football.
But also,
Patrick Mahomes.
Skip, you're talking about how John Gruden was whipping his guys up in a frenzy to get ready to play this game. But don't you think for 1 second that John Gruden wasn't looking across that field and say, this young guy think he can come in here with that bull jive system and show me up?
He was thinking that. I would agree.
Because look at how
it wasn't about Kyler, it was about Cliff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cliff.
Because remember, for a while it looked like John was thinking about drafting Kyler.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
He worked him out.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the thing, Skip.
Right.
Cliff Kingsbury is going to face a lot of that. Yes, defensive guys are going to get after Kyler Murray, but head coaches are looking like, hold on, this guy he couldn't even win at college, and he gets one of the most prestigious jobs in the NFL based off what?
Like, you're not the biggest Gruden fan, but he did win a Super Bowl.
He did win a Super Bowl. Yeah. He's like, hold on, this guy had Pat Mahomes, and he won what with my homeboy?
He had Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
He had Davis Webb.
Yes. So don't think it's egos all around. Yes, defensive coordinators do not want Kyler Murray to show them up, but head coaches does not want Cliff Kingsbury to outcoach them either.
Okay. I will bet you that even though their schedule is brutally difficult, that slowly but surely Kyler will figure out how to make some plays in this league, and by midseason, you will be sitting over there on Monday saying, you know what?
They ain't winning 5 games.
It looked pretty good yesterday.
They will not win 5.
Well, that's really bold of you.
What?
Wow.
They had the first pick in the draft last year.
Well, but hold on. He a generational talent. Generational talent. Turn it around just like that.
They got a shot to win 5.
No, they asked me yesterday.
That would be the peak 5.
I was at CVS. They asked me, said, you want a flu shot? I said, I ain't got no shot. That's the only shot they got, flu shots.
Really?
They got no shots at 5. Skip, you saw that offensive line.
I took one flu shot in my life and immediately got
sick, exactly. I
did.
I haven't done one in a while either.
Yeah.
Skip, you saw that offensive line. You saw the man running for his life. So how did it get? Okay. Between what you saw last Monday and what you're going to see.
Remember, last Thursday night was not a fair fight, because I will bet you that in camp practice they haven't practiced a whole lot versus hot receiver blitzes where you've practiced to.
What the hell you been doing all this time?
Well, you've been trying to just figure out how to play football.
No, you're supposed to already know that, Skip Bayless. See, Skip, you work on that. That's like day 1, day 2 install.
You don't think they're working on it right now?
It's too late. Too late. We already done see. We already done found Skip. Here's the thing. Once I break into your house once, I already know you're going to fix the front door. I'm coming in through the bathroom window.
Really?
See, we got other avenues. Yeah, it's too late. See, once you start working on that, I already got another plan how I'm going to get in. I know you leave the basement door unlocked.
Just a step behind.
Yep.
Lots to fix.
All right, tackle. He not very good. Your left guard a little slow, too. Heavy.
Just watch and wait. Just remember I said this, extraordinary performer.
Well, I tell you what, he better get some Tyron Smith and some Zach Martins and some Travis Fredericks up there, the black Travis Frederick, to block for him. Because that offensive line going to get him hurt.
I'm starting to worry about the guy. Jeez.
No.
It's good.
He'll be just fine.
Okay.
Did he take any shots the other night? No.
He got down, Skip, that's another thing. He's going down very easy.
Okay, well, no, he's going down smart. As opposed to Robert Griffin III, who went down dumb every time.
No, okay.
He knows how to avoid the career-threatening shots. We saw it all last year. Did you ever see him take a shot?
You got to
last
get
year?
one.
Nope.
You got to get one. It's inevitable.
He ran for 1,000 yards last year, and I didn't once see him put himself in a precarious situation.
He ain't run no 1,000 yards against no NFL player.
We'll see.
When he in the NFL, you saw what they doing. Okay. You see how they flatten out, make him get rid of that ball. Give it up.
Want to bet he'll look better in this game than he did in the last
Who
game?
they playing?
I'm not even
Minnesota.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
no. I bet it don't.
He also
I bet
said
it
he
don't.
grew
I
up
bet
cheering
Zim
for the
come get it.
Vikings.
I bet you Zim come get it.
Well, they'll be ready this time.
Skip, you know Paul Gunther. He was the linebacker coach under Zim.
No, I got it.
That's his system.
This isn't an easy challenge.
And you know Zim come get folk. Oh, yeah, I bet
Lots
he
of
don't.
defense.
I bet it'll look better than
And I think it does go back to all the coaches wanting to show Cliff. Hey, it isn't as easy.
He come out there with all that
as it
gel. He
may
come on that
appear.
Axe body spray, doing all these commercials. Hair gelled
There's
up
a
on the
little of that.
sideline. You see all the other coaches, you look at Gruden. Stomach poking out, Coach Belichick, got a cutoff sweat.
Yep.
Yeah. And he out there all slim and trim with a
Yeah.
fitted shirt on. Oh, no. And he worried about his Madden look rating,
That
what it
wasn't-
looked
Yeah.
like. Yeah, they finna
That's
do
the
him.
wrong
The
message.
Madden rating. I think he might regret telling everyone about that one. We have talked about a lot of quarterbacks today. Baker is next. What did Baker Mayfield's text to Daniel Jones say about Baker? We'll tell you next.
Y'all got it.
No mercy. No mercy.
Baker Mayfield has taken a lot of heat the last few days. The Browns quarterback was quoted in a GQ article saying that he couldn't believe the Giants took Daniel Jones 6th overall in the draft and that it blew his mind. Since then, Baker has said that those quotes were taken out of context and he has reached out to the Giants rookie to explain. Take a listen.
Just things taken out of context, and that's the problem with today's day and age. You know, you don't read the whole thing, you don't put two and two together, you just kind of read scripts, and then people, you know, they combine sentences from different conversations, and so it seemed very disrespectful, and I can understand that. You know, I reached out to Daniel because all that blew out of, you know, way out of hand, and I wanted him to know how I felt, and I've heard nothing but great things from Saquon and Sterling Shepard, guys that, you know, have a lot of respect for him, and that I, you know, respect their opinions, and so I just wanted to clear the air with him.
All right, Shannon, do you like that Baker reached out to Daniel Jones?
No, I want him to own it. And this is what I'm very leery of, Skip. Anytime I hear a guy say, you know, starts with you know, either he's lying or he's about to lie.
Really?
And I heard a lot of you knows in that. Skip, how do I take you out? If I'm doing a story on Skip Bayless, why is somebody else's name coming up in that article? It will if they're doing a story on Skip. Let's just say somebody come in. What is it with GQ, Skip? Remember Jalen Ramsey had the very same thing last year about quarterbacks in GQ. Here's Baker Mayfield in GQ. And we had, a month ago, Odell Beckham in GQ. So I'm just
Mark
going
Anthony Green.
I'm going to be the real leery on GQ.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I'm not drinking anything if I do an article with GQ. So I don't want anybody to take anything out of context.
They
Let's get
get
GQ to feature this guy.
They get
Let's
people
some
to
inside
spill.
scoop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I ain't drinking anything, Skip. I'll build my best behavior. But Skip, if somebody's doing an article on me, okay, we talking, and I look up and I see somebody on the TV that do what we do, I'm like, that dude terrible. Skip, what do I think is gonna happen? Is that gonna be in the article? Exactly.
Well, you hope not, but it is.
But you say that.
Yeah, I know.
How do you take out of context? That was around the draft. The article is the interview is about you, and somehow you bring him up in it. And everybody, I love that Baker speaks his mind. He tells you what's on his mind. He's breaking the mold.
Yeah.
Do you like that he backtracks? Because he kind of looked like Michael Jackson at the Motown Awards in '83,
did.
moonwalking.
Yeah.
Skip, maybe if it was April Fool's, but the draft was around April 24th, so no, that was no joke. You said what you said. Just own it. I said I cannot believe they took that guy out of Duke University with his win-loss record and the way he played.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. But what he tried to do, Skip, I also said I was surprised I went number 1 overall too. Two things can be true. You can be surprised you went number 1 overall, and you can also say he sucks. And that's the crux of this, Skip Bayless. I don't like all this moonwalking. If you're going to be a man about it, be about it. If you talk it, back it up and say, yeah, I said it, now what? But now he done caught a lot of flack and, well, it gets taken out of context. No, it doesn't. That's what it gets taken out of context when you say something and you want to retract or move away from it. It was taken out of context. That interviewer got everything you said in the proper context. You were shocked that the New York Football Giants took Daniel Jones 6th overall, considering how poorly he had played and his win-loss record. And now you're trying to backtrack. So, no.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I must agree. I still love Baker Mayfield as a quarterback and a leader of the Cleveland Browns. I do not love anything about this. He was dead wrong.
Simple.
And he will not give it up and let it go and admit it and own it and stand by it.
Right.
I'm watching ESPN yesterday, and I caught my friend Jake Trotter, who now is covering the Browns for ESPN, who concluded after listening to Baker yesterday that he did acknowledge that he did say, I can't believe the Giants took Daniel Jones.
Yes.
So he's acknowledging, yeah, I did say that.
Right.
Period, end of story. Yeah, that's it. We don't need
no more context.
Nope, over.
Yeah.
Now, he does have some point that you're associating my remarks in general in that interview about why NFL teams so often miss on quarterbacks. That was more of a generalization because he was talking about himself, how shocked he was. He went number one when he was not projected to go number one, and he thought he deserved to go number one, and his point was, they're missing the point in the boat about me because all I did was win and lead that team at Oklahoma. And if you look at the quarterbacks who make it, they led their college team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is in a different context, but it still doesn't change the fact that you looked up at the TV and said, I can't believe they took Daniel Jones. Mind-boggling.
Thank you.
Quote, unquote.
Yes.
I don't know at what point in the interview he said it. He intended it as an aside. He intended it as just sort of a fan reaction to something he's seeing on SportsCenter up on a TV monitor while they're sitting in a restaurant that has a steak named after Baker Mayfield.
Right.
And he blurts it out thinking it's just guy talk. It's just like, oh, like the interview stopped for a second, and it didn't stop.
No.
So unfortunately, it hit the light of print, and more unfortunately, he won't stand behind it because I want to give you the quick history of Baker Mayfield. He's had beefs right and left, back and forth. He blasted his former coach, Hugh Jackson, called him fake when he dared to get fired by the Browns and then go sign up with the rival Bengals. Remember that?
Yes.
And he pointed at him on the sideline after he threw a touchdown pass. Then he blasted his former coach, Cliff Kingsbury. We just talked about Cliff when he was at Texas Tech by saying that he was disloyal to me after I got hurt, and he opted to go with Davis Webb over me, which triggered Baker's exit stage left to Oklahoma, the transfer, right? Then he blasted recently Texas quarterback Sam Elliott. I don't know where this guy, they were rival, they went to rival high schools in Austin, but he said he wants everybody to know I don't like him, and I hope he knows I don't like him because he doesn't like me. So it's just like boom, boom, boom.
Even though he doesn't even know if Ellinger doesn't like him.
I don't know.
I think it was the rivalry of high school.
It was.
I remember asking Sam about it last year. It was just you knew that there was a clear rivalry between the two guys.
Look, everybody had a rival. I don't dislike the guys that's playing at the school now. I dislike the guys that I was playing against.
Okay.
They ain't got nothing to do with me. I might dislike the school.
I would agree with you. This is a stretch.
Yes.
But it's almost like Jordan-esque, where Michael would always just create rivalries for no reason. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay, and then finally, he took a shot at Duke Johnson, who was his teammate at running back, as you know, for daring to demand a trade and becoming a distraction and not being fully committed to the Browns. And he took a shot at it.
Right.
Saying it's self-destruction on his part, right?
Right.
Okay, and then Duke obviously finally got traded. And then let's just quickly go over the incidents that he's never run from at all. Fayetteville, Arkansas, he has a little too much to drink, and then he runs from the cops, and he finally gets arrested and charged with public intoxication, disorderly conduct, and fleeing.
Yes.
And he stood right behind it, and then we know that he grabbed his crotch to send a message across the field to the Jayhawks, Kansas Jayhawks, for not shaking his hand in the pregame warm-up. And then we know that he fired that football and hit a TCU kid right in the head just for daring to run across the back line of his end zone during pregame warm-ups. And he owns it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's me.
Right.
That's what makes me tick.
Exactly.
That's who I am.
Right.
All this is who he is until this one.
Exactly.
And this one got into print when he had no beef and no reason to take a shot at Daniel Jones.
Correct.
So he's embarrassed about it. He might have gotten called on John Dorsey's carpet, maybe even Jimmy Haslam's carpet. What are you doing?
Right.
And he couldn't defend it.
Right.
Because all he could do is lie his way out of it by saying it's a context.
Right.
No, it's not.
You know, I just wanted to know, I think the world of it. No, you don't. You said you couldn't believe you couldn't believe the Giants drafted him with the 6th pick of the draft, but you wanted him to know you think the world of him.
Okay.
So when did you think the world of him? Before or after you made the comment?
All right, and now you want to announce to the media that you have tried to clear the air with him by texting him.
Right.
I would prefer a phone call, that's
Right.
just me. But how would you, if you're in Daniel Jones' shoes, how would you receive that text, or if it had been a phone call?
Reject.
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 Because you would know in your heart of hearts, he just spoke his heart, right?
Yep.
He just said what he
Yes.
thought.
Unprompted.
Okay.
Skip, if I had done something to him, okay, I get it. You want to say something like that. But when you speak, and here I am, I'm getting drafted. I've done nothing. Baker Mayfield, all you know is I'm a quarterback. You don't know me, I don't know you, and then you're gonna say that. And then you're gonna get my number from someone, and then you're gonna try to tell about, bro, that's not what I meant. It was taken out of context. I was talking about, I said I was surprised too. Okay. You surprised you went in the first, well, what I got to do with you talking about Daniel Jones? I just still want to know that.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
And then, like I said, Skip, he got the blowback. And when he sat back and thought about it, he's like, you know what? I really shouldn't have said that because that's not my place. And it makes me look makes him look real petty. Like, okay, because people didn't think you deserved to be the first round pick, why you take it upon yourself and project that you don't think he should be the sixth pick in the draft?
No.
And then moonwalk it back. Skip. Oh, I love Baker. Baker speaks his mind. He's shouting them all. And he's quick to say, if you don't like it, that's a you problem. If you don't like what I say, that's a you problem.
In the past, he said.
Yes, but now look at it. Done had a crisis manager to clean this mess up. Too late. Nope, you can't live this one down, bro.
You're loving this, aren't you?
I love it.
I thought you loved Baker all of a sudden.
Hey.
Yeah, weren't you stepping off?
Whoa. Two things can be true.
Well, somebody might
I don't like that he backtracked, but I still think they're going to beat the Steelers. They're going to win that division.
Somebody might be moonwalking like Michael Jackson in 1983 across from them, right?
Nope. I still got the Steelers, but the Steelers did look good the other night, man. That James Washington.
Does this change how
What
Baker
did I
will
tell
talk
you?
to us, though?
Did I not say James Washington? I told
You
you.
did.
Yeah, thank you.
You did.
I'm still taking the Browns. Still taking the
Taking the
Browns.
Browns. Oh, okay.
I won't he going to take a shot at Big Ben. I can't believe Big Ben is still playing. He's trash. I mean, you might
This
well.
is going to be the comeback,
Come back to what?
according to Skip, for Big Ben. This is the year. He's got a lot
Oh,
to
he's saying Baker.
Baker, I mean, Baker loves to take a shot by what,
Yeah,
just keep
take
it
a
going.
shot.
shots.
Get him a battle. I mean, like Jay Cutler and Phillip Rivers. Hey, Skip, everybody need a he like rivalries.
Wow.
OU, Texas. Hey, Baltimore and Pittsburgh already is as heated as any rivalry in the NFL.
Yep.
So, hey, go ahead and start one with Big Ben.
Inviting it. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Is it possible that Dak Prescott's rookie success was a
That's just
fluke?
sacrilegious.
I'm going to use
No, it ain't.
fluke to
Use
describe
that
it.
word.
James
No, it ain't.
Harrison joins us next. He'll pick a side.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott found himself on a top 10 list, but it's probably not the one he wanted to be on. ESPN and Football Insiders released their top 10 fluke seasons for quarterbacks going back to 1986. And Dak's rookie season in 2016 came in at number 10. The list points out that the only reason Dak's numbers have stayed steady is because his pass attempts have gone up each season. It also points out that Prescott's QBR has dropped every year since 2016. So we're now joined by FS1 NFL analyst James Harrison. Good to have you. But first, Shannon, I'm going to start with you. Do you agree that Dak's rookie season was a fluke?
Hold on. Are you saying fluke with a K or flute? Because I don't think anybody play it over there, Skip Bayless.
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn.
You're
It's not
asking me a
no,
question,
I asked Jenny.
Yeah, okay.
Your name is not Jenny. You got to change, but it doesn't say
With a
Jenny.
K.
Wait, let me see.
Yeah,
Oh,
in case
Jenny.
you're wondering,
That's
guys.
Jenny. I
In case you're
forgot.
wondering.
Lil Wayne, thank you.
Oh,
Thank
Skip
you.
Bayless.
No, thank you.
Luke, they say your guy. The guy that you say is Brady-esque had one of the flukiest seasons in NFL history.
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn just yet. Can I just have a moment? Now, you just told me a minute ago, and I wrote it down. You say, it looks like to me that the number of games that he's missed is going up. It also looks like, Skip, did you know this? QBR. Going down. Sack No, I want to get the sacks later. Interception. Had 4 his rookie year, 23-4. Average 12 the last 2 seasons. Going up. QBR, Skip. Going down. Yards per attempt. Going down. Sacks. 25, 32, 56. Pro Football Focus said 15 of those 56 sacks was directly attributed to Dak Prescott.
My turn?
And it's not your turn yet. Why you keep interrupting? I'm going to have to ask you to go sit in the hall if you keep interrupting. You're not supposed to interrupt the teacher.
Take a time out.
Yes.
No, that's here.
Skip. And it's only going to get worse because they know his limitations. This is a running football team. It always has and always will be. And as long as they can take Zeke away and keep that play action, because they play action, I mean, guys got to come down because you got to try to stop Zeke. But numbers don't lie. One of the flukiest seasons, 100 years. James, you know they've been playing football for 100 years?
100 years.
And for 99 of those years, this was one of the 10 flukiest seasons in NFL history. And I don't really know what else to tell you, Skip, but I'm sorry that it happened, that you so devout, you bought in so hard, and it hurt so much to know it was a fluke.
So I want to hear if James Harrison buys into the foolishness I just heard.
I do not buy into the stuff that I just heard. But I don't consider it a fluke because I don't think he had the greatest season. Starting from
you're saying that all three of them.
all of them were the same thing. The man, 19 completions a game from 16, 17, 22 and 18. It's not really that much of a drop. His attempts went up, his sacks went up, his interceptions went up. So, I mean, the only big difference is you went 13-3 with the Cowboys and they hadn't done nothing. So you just went crazy about this.
Where'd they go last year? Help me out.
They went
10-6.
10-6.
Who won the division last year?
They had Zeke back. They had Zeke back.
Yeah.
Right.
And when they didn't make it, Zeke was suspended for a few games, so he missed 6 games and only played in 10. So Dak is not really doing it. I feel like I said before, you can get a quarterback in here out of the draft that could come in here and give me 19 completions a game and hand the ball off.
Would you be so bold as to go so far as to say Dak Prescott is a bust?
I wouldn't say he's a bust because they didn't draft him as a first rounder.
Is he trash? Is he garbage? Is he? Give me something. Put a label on him.
Litter.
He's litter.
Yeah, I got it wrong. You know, you throw it back.
He's average.
He's average. Dak Prescott.
That's what everybody
Average,
says, Skip.
James Harrison.
He's average.
What do you say? Litter?
Average.
Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer, says litter. Dak Prescott is litter. I want that on tape. Because it's pretty hard.
He ain't trash. He ain't trash, but you keep comparing him with the top five.
When you put him up there
That's
with
the
like
problem.
Tom and all that, it's like, now I gotta say, or he has to say he's trash because that's
I cannot
just
tell you how much I love this from my quarterback. I love
What you love
you
about
said, and I love even more the litter that you just deposited right here in the middle of this table because it just spilled right out of your mouth. My quarterback, more and more by the day, becomes the most underrated, underappreciated, and underhyped quarterback in the National Football League. This is utter blasphemy, what I just heard here. It's sacrilegious, and he will make you eat all the crow that you desire. It'll be a buffet of crow all year long. Every Monday on Undisputed, everybody is welcome. It's all you can eat crow for these two right here. Here's what happened last year. Tell me how flukish last year was.
Okay.
For the first 8 games last year, Dak Prescott had literally nobody to throw to. There was no number one wideout. And guess who got the most targets over the first 8 games of the year? The running back did. The most balls were thrown to number 21, who happens to be Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes.
There's nobody else to throw to him. By the way, Zeke is still running the football through the first 8 games. Guess what the record was? 3-5. And guess what Jerry Jones did? Thank you. He went out and got Amari Cooper, and he spent a lot of money and a lot of stuff for him because he spent a first-round draft pick for him, and it was worth every last cent of it. Because when Amari came in, Dak's life changed because he finally had a legit number one who could threaten the defense and occasionally, dare I say, draw a double team. And what happened from that point on? Look at Dak Prescott's flukish numbers last year for the back half of the season.
They didn't say last year. They said 16 was
okay,
the
but no, but they're saying 16. They're saying last year was a bad year.
Are we taking the whole year or just part of the year?
16 was a great year.
Yeah.
It was the best year any rookie quarterback has ever played.
That's what I'm saying.
You can just, I dare you to go look at RG3's rookie year, which I loved in Washington. It was not better than Dak's rookie year. So they're going to disqualify that one because of 17 and 18.
Right.
So listen what happened for the last 8 games last year. Dak Prescott was 3rd in the National Football League in completions. He was 4th in yards thrown, yards that he threw for.
Yeah. Okay.
He was 5th in air distance of completions, how far the pass goes before it's caught. He was 5th in the whole National Football League, and he was tied for 4th in deep pass touchdowns because he wasn't dinking and dacking once he got Amari Cooper. And he capped it off by outplaying Russell Wilson in QBR, whatever stat you want, in a playoff game that he won. And then he went to L.A. and he dramatically outplayed via QBR Jared Goff. In fact, Dak Prescott, my quarterback, in the bad year he had last year, wound up in the playoffs having the #1 overall QBR of any quarterback, including Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. #1 QBR. So I look at, and I'm going to have to bring it up again, no quarterback over the last 3 years has more fourth quarter game-winning drives than my quarterback. No quarterback in the history of this league in his first 3 years in the league has
No
a
quarterback
better...
plays so bad in the first 3 quarters that they need to be able to have to do that.
Okay, well, I don't care. There are 4 quarters in a football game. I
Yeah,
think
and
you
it's a
guys know
full
that.
season.
Okay, and
Not the last half.
all he's done is win the division 2 out of 3 years. And the year that was so bad in 17, he lost his left tackle and they had no backup, and that was Jerry Jones' fault. And then he lost his running back, and then he lost the guts of the defense, who was Sean Lee, the captain of the defense.
James,
I'm not buying this.
James, you notice every time when things don't go his way, it's somebody else's fault.
Somebody else.
It's Sean Lee, it's Tyron Smith, it's Zeke. What about
Second best record in the league over the last 3 years belongs to Dak Prescott, who has become one of the great leaders in
It was
this
other people
league.
on that team, too. Like, it's,
Does
like you
leadership
said, it's not an
count?
eye, but
Does
he
leadership
has
count at the quarterback position?
yes,
Ask Carson Wentz. Yeah.
Skip,
Thank you.
let me ask you this, Skip. Is that you keep saying that Dak, they're saying, okay, 16, that's an outlier. When you look at what has transpired since then, his sack total is going up.
What transpired last year over the last 8 games with Amari Cooper was extraordinary. It was better than 16.
And you know what, Skip? Even though after he got Amari Cooper, Zeke Elliott averaged more catches per game than Amari. So he was still, yes, he did.
I don't think he did.
I promise you.
Okay.
Because Zeke missed the last game of the season.
Okay.
And Amari had one more catch.
But Dak goes 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions over the last 8 games. And then I'm not even throwing in the playoff game. He has turned into one of the most underestimated big game, big play playmakers in the league. What happened on 3rd and 18 late in the Seattle game? Do you remember this play? Maybe we should see it again.
It was 3rd
Just
and 14, too.
3rd and
12.
It was 3rd and 14. I
Yeah.
exaggerate a little bit.
I
It was
know
3rd and 14. What happened? That happened.
It
You
shouldn't
see
have
that?
happened. I don't know what Seattle
Look
was
at this.
thinking. Come on, Bobby, make
Yeah.
that play.
See, you guys underestimate.
Everybody get lucky.
Yeah, everybody gets lucky because he weighs 245 pounds and he can move.
Let me ask you, Skip.
He can do it with
Skip,
his legs
you should
and
be-
his
do it with
physicality.
you should be
He can't do it with his arm at his
There you
position.
go.
That's
That's why you
really?
should be disappointed.
Okay,
because
wait a
the
second.
quarterback.
What are we talking
the
about?
quarterback who can't throw is the only quarterback in the history of the league who has this high of a completion percentage over his first 3 years, but he can't throw.
Dinking and dacking.
Oh, really? Was he
Like you
dinking
said,
and dacking
he
down
was-
the
he was
stretch
throwing
over
to
the
the
last
running
8
back.
games? I saw bombs away.
I can throw a swing
Yeah.
pass.
Zeke Elliott had 77 catches.
Man, I've seen him play Aaron Rodgers 3 times. Dak's QBR is an average 80 to Aaron's 62. He outplayed him. He didn't win the game because they weren't good enough to win 2 games.
Why they got Dak?
Okay, Mason crossbar.
Dak
stole
should be able
that.
to come
What
through
about
and get
that?
that
You just told
done.
me.
Like you just said, he could do it with his
Because
legs.
you're
You just
saying
showed
his
he could have ran
QBR
the ball.
has diminished every year. Look at what he did against Aaron
That's
Rodgers.
one game. They're saying over the course of the season.
Guess what he did in that terrible year last year?
What'd he do?
He beat Carson Wentz twice, the reigning Super Bowl champs. And guess how he did it?
That's
In the
not hard.
2 fourth quarters and the overtime. Grand total he threw for of 331 yards, 4 touchdowns and no interceptions on completing 24 of 28.
And
but he
he's
can't
only
throw.
threw for over
But he
300
can't
yards
throw.
in 6 games,
But he
though,
can't throw.
out of 3 years.
They're a running football team. They're just like
Oh, my God,
Wait a second.
Skip, come on.
They're just like, is Troy Aikman in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Skip.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Was he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Answer me this.
Trust
man.
me,
Answer me this.
Dak
Answer me this.
throws more than Troy does.
listen.
Dak
Is he
throws
better
more
If
than
Tony
Troy
Romo
does.
hadn't got hurt,
Huh?
if Tony Romo hadn't got hurt, do you
He
think they
could
would have
be at
did
some
better?
point.
If Tony Romo hadn't got hurt and Romo was the quarterback, do you think they would have did a lot better with
It'd be a
Romo?
disaster. It'd be a
What?
disaster.
You turned on Tony Romo,
I
too?
know, I turned on him about 10 years ago. I told you he was an accident waiting to happen. I coined
you
the phrase.
serious?
Yes, I was the first one to say.
Skip.
You're telling
Tony
me they
Romo-
would have did nowhere
What have I told you? The classic Romo game.
Tony
was
Romo
back
can't
in
hand
what-
the ball off to Zeke? Like, come on.
You-
and
you
he
wouldn't
got a
stand
better
for
arm.
it.
He can read things better.
You remember when he
No,
had
you,
them-
you don't know your history.
You Skip, you remember
don't know what
DeMarco
you're
Murray.
talking
You remember what Tony Romo did at 12-4? The season
Okay,
that you
that
said
took the onus off Tony because he was handing it off to DeMarco.
it takes the onus off Zeke Dak because he handed it to Zeke.
1,600
Tony
the first
Romo
year.
was an interception waiting to happen at the most critical moment. What did
Dak
I tell
got
you about the
13 of
Peyton
them
game?
last-
Do
the
you
year
remember the
before.
Peyton game?
I
What was
do
it,
remember.
20?
was
2013 or 12?
12.
2012. It's the classic game was it at Texas? No, it was at Jerry World. It was Jerry World. And it ends up 51-48.
Yeah.
And Tony throws for 506. Tom Brady threw for 505.
Man, nobody cares about that.
But Tony throws for 506, and right when you least expected, he throws it to Danny Trevathan, who happened to be in orange and blue that day at Jerry World.
Skip,
right?
Skip.
Game over. Walk-off field goal.
All they're saying is that when they look at the numbers, they look at that season, he's more apt to be like 17, 18 moving forward than anything like 16. That's all they're saying, Skip.
Did you see? You didn't
And
watch
I'm saying I don't think
down the
16
stretch
was
last
so
year.
great.
He took off. He arrived.
He took off where? Where'd he go?
He went into another echelon last
No,
year.
no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Okay,
and
so he
and
was-
where was your man Zeke? He's my man. But where was he in the playoff game at L.A.?
You know what, Skip? That's one game. But did he not show up against Seattle?
My defense.
I
showed
mean,
up
14.
Oh, my goodness.
What is it? 1,434 yards last year for
Let the league run it
Zeke?
again.
Hey, I have told him from the start, Zeke is the best running back in football, and he has disagreed at every turn.
I like Saquon now.
No, he liked Le'Veon for a
I
while,
did.
right?
It makes it seem like Le'Veon was a bum.
Le'Veon. I like Zeke. I give you that. They are a balanced football team. They run it and they throw it.
No.
Just like Troy Aikman's dominating Cowboys
Skip,
of the
Skip.
1990s.
They are a balanced football team, but here's the scale.
Yep.
Run, pass.
No, it is not.
Yep.
Did you see how they took off? Do you realize they went 7-1 down the stretch? They went from 3-5 to 7-1. Why was that? Dak to Amari. That's what carried this team all the way home. That's how they beat Seattle in a game.
Well, we gonna get
You
a
picked
chance to
Seattle to win.
I did, Skip, but you do realize that Zeke Elliott led the league in rushing those last 8 games that he was there, right?
He's tremendous. He's the best running back in football. It's a dual threat, but you have to have the guy who can throw it. He can really throw it.
So when
and
if
if you're
he
in
can-
trouble against the defending Super Bowl champions, who pulls it out in the fourth quarter? The
That
big
defense
playmaker.
did.
Oh, stop.
Oh, Wolf Hunter picked him. The Wolf Hunter, the defense did. Now you don't want to get the defense any credit.
You don't want to get nobody no
That's
credit.
old deer in the headlights wins. That's what that was.
Oh, so that's it.
Wow.
As much as I don't want this one to
Wow.
end, does Patrick Mahomes have the right mindset to lead the Chiefs to a
That
Super
has a
Bowl? You're going
quarterback.
to join us in a bit
That has a
to
quarterback.
talk more. This one was a good time. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Patrick Mahomes took the NFL by storm last season on his way to winning his first MVP. Mahomes lit up scoreboards on his way to over 5,000 yards passing and 50 touchdowns. Peyton Manning, in his historic 2013 MVP season, was the only other QB to hit those marks. When asked about fighting off a sense of accomplishment, Mahomes had this to say.
Until you win that Super Bowl, I don't think you can be complacent with anything. Being that close last year, I mean, you want to find a way to win it, and until you're able to do that and able to do it multiple times, I mean, you're never going to be complacent with where you're at.
Shannon, do you like that Mahomes said you can't be complacent until you win a Super Bowl?
Well, I think he got his words mixed up, Skip. I think if you're a professional athlete, there's 2 words you never want to hear come out of another athlete's mouth, and that's complacency and quit. So if you win the Super Bowl, now you can get complacent. I think that one of the things that I admire most about Tom Brady is that even in his young career in which he'd won, he never said, he scaled a summit, Skip, and instead of basking in the glory of what he had accomplished, he marched down the hill and found another summit to climb. That's what you have to admire as a professional athlete, Skip. I remember when I made my first Pro Bowl, I wanted to show everybody it wasn't a fluke. So I needed to beat the times that I ran last year on the track. I needed to lift more weights. And when I made my first All-Pro team, I wanted to show this is not a fluke. I'm for real, guys. And when we went to the Super Bowl, my drive was to get back again to show what you're seeing, my individual accomplishments and the team accomplishments, that's not a fluke. Hopefully, like I said, I believe he got his words mixed up, Skip, because it seems like he's like, well, if I win the Super Bowl, okay, maybe I can exhale. And you can never exhale when you play professional sports because there's someone always trying to catch you. And so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But I do not like to hear complacency come out of a guy's mouth that says, unless you're gonna say, I'm never gonna be complacent. Because until I'm done, I feel I can get better and there's always something else I can accomplish.
I am not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We had him on the show before the draft. He's a smart young man.
Sure.
I think he knows exactly the meaning of complacent. I don't think he got any words mixed up. I think he just spoke his heart and spoke his mind. And I think he is in danger of getting a little too full of himself a little too quickly coming off his MVP season. I think he's in danger of focusing on all the wrong things because it has been reported that he does practice left-handed passes in practice. He practices no looks.
It's for fun.
And he practices all the Globetrotter, Steph Curry kind of plays, except Steph's plays when he's shooting 40-foot jump shots, they're actually, for him, conservative shots because they're like free throws for him.
Right.
They're not whipped cream shots. They're actually conventional shots. They're just being shot farther and farther out.
Correct.
But we've not seen left-handed pass, from right-handers. We've not seen that many no-looks. We've seen occasional sidearm flings from Brett Favre and that sort of thing. But this is the danger when you are spoiled rotten by Andy Reid, because Andy Reid loves him some Patrick Mahomes because he traded up and he feels like, look at me, I stole him. Nobody saw this coming except me.
Correct.
And yet, part of Patrick's success last year offensively, I have to give to Andy Reid. He's not had a whole lot of a focus on his defense. He did have the late, great Jim Johnson in Philly. But obviously the defense failed them in the
Bob
end
Sutton
last
didn't
year.
get it done.
Nope, he did not get it done, and maybe now they'll, with Spagnuolo, maybe in the upgrades with Honey Badger, maybe they'll be a little better.
Right, Frank Clark.
Yeah, Frank Clark will help. So the point is that I think Patrick is so full of himself right now, not in a terrible way, but just in like a matter-of-fact way, that he's just saying, I'll get complacent when we win a Super Bowl. And to your point, the first guy I thought of was Tom Brady.
Right.
Can you imagine? He's been to 9 Super Bowls. He's now favored to go to his 10th Super Bowl, and he seems more driven than ever.
Yeah.
So complacent is not in his vocabulary.
It shouldn't be in any athlete.
Right.
Well, it shouldn't be in anybody's vocabulary because you should never be, comfortable enough with your situation that you're like, I can't get better or I can't improve this situation. And the thing is, Skip, if you look at Tom, like I said, when they asked him, like, Tom, which is your favorite Super Bowl, he said the next one. Complacency is like, well, I'm good. I've got enough. 14 Pro Bowls, 3 MVPs, 9 Super Bowl appearances with 6 wins with 4 Super Bowl MVPs. I mean, what else y'all want me to do?
And what does he always
say?
say?
10? You want me to go to 10? That's what I want.
Okay, that's what he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
He's driven for it.
Yes.
He says, the older I get, the harder I have to work in the offseason.
Right.
Well, that's not what Patrick is saying. He's saying, well, if I get my Super Bowl, then I can gear down a little bit and I can rest on my laurels a little bit.
Like I said, I don't like hearing complacency being talked about. I mean, Coach says, look, I don't want these guys to get complacent. That's one thing. Or you say, I'm never going to be complacent. Because I feel, I love what I accomplished last year. We didn't reach our ultimate destination, Super Bowl. But even don't even say if, even when I win the Super Bowl, it's to get to another and another and another. And it's just, like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit. Skip, he's young. Maybe, he's nervous a little bit.
Maybe.
He might hear that back and go, it's not exactly what I needed to say. Right. He is smart, though.
I don't think he ever gets nervous in front of the media. I'm sorry. Here's the problem. I watched him in his last preseason outing, and it was horrible by his standards. And and I know this league can do that to you. If you get a little bit complacent in the back of your mind, even in your psyche complacent, like, I got this, you don't got this.
No.
And again, if he keeps playing like he did the other night, he's going to have problems because I can tell you there are 3 coaching staffs who spent the whole offseason trying to figure out how to shut that guy down. And Oakland is way better on defense because they got some firepower now.
Whitehead, they got Burfict. Yeah, they got some guys.
And those 2 rookies are Furl and Jonathan Abram.
Yep.
They can bring the heat as they brought it on Kyler the other night. So they're just better, and they're going to be gunning for this kid. And we know the Chargers are good. And the other night, Denver, I thought
they'll be better.
You know what?
They'll be better defensively.
Chubb flashed for me.
And Bosa is healthy this year.
Yeah.
So he'll be there. He won't miss 10 or 11 games.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It looks like his little brother's missing games. I don't know. Maybe it runs in the family. But.
Skip, I don't like the word complacency. He had an unbelievable season, and you should be looking. There's a chance he might not ever be 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. But just because you don't reach that number doesn't mean you don't have a great season. But if you sit back and think, well, man, once I reach this, I've arrived, you're going to have problems. I ain't going to play. I mean, the first time I beat Skip down, busting down Jenny, I was like, let me get back to work. Went home, watched Okay, yeah.
No one at this
Been
table
beating him
is
down ever
complacent.
since. I'm never gonna get complacent.
always someone else who can step in.
You gonna catch these L's as long as TV is on.
That's what it comes down to.
You become a complacent loser on this show.
No. That ain't happening. That ain't
Or in
happening.
your head, you're
All
winning
I
every
bring is
day.
L's.
Yeah, you just
You don't
accept
lose.
the fact you got no shot, so you just sort of, you just ease into it every day. Like, I know what's coming.
I'm gonna get you a chain
Yeah.
with diamonds
Oh,
with a
yeah.
big old L.
We haven't heard about your restaurant in a while, you know?
It ain't open right yet. It'll be
Yeah.
open in a minute.
Sounds like somebody's going to pick Kansas City to play Philadelphia.
Yeah,
in the Super Bowl.
I don't
Yeah.
Skip. Right now, I'm not
good
I'm
about
not
it?
there yet. I'm not there with my prognostications. You know, but old Sharpadamas will have it right.
Well, whatever the prognostication is before the season will change after week 1, 2, 3, and 4.
You can't have that
It
this
may
year.
or may
Once
not.
you make those picks. These two, Odell Beckham Jr. and Antonio Brown, have a lot in common. New teams, new quarterbacks, 0 preseason snaps. With those new quarterbacks, who should be more worried? James Harrison is back with us. He'll help us out next.
No mercy.
Star wideouts Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham Jr. are both expected to miss the remainder of the preseason. AB is still recovering from those frostbitten feet. That was tough to see. But he will travel with the Raiders to Winnipeg for the third preseason game against the Packers. Odell is recovering from a hip injury and missed team drills yesterday at practice. Both Pro Bowl receivers have yet to play a snap for their new team since being traded this past offseason. James Harrison back with us, but Shannon, which team will be hurt more by this? Are we talking about the Raiders or the Browns?
I'm gonna say the Raiders because at least Baker and Odell has had some practice time together on the field. AB has yet to practice one snap in the in practice training camp with Derek Carr. Baker also has a rapport with Njoku, a couple of the other guys that have been there. Jarvis Landry led the team. So he's going to get his fair share. He's very familiar with those guys. There's no way Antonio Brown is going to be anything other than the leading receiver on this team. That's why they brought him. That's why they brought him in. He's going to be the leading receiver. Yes, they signed Tyrell Williams away from the Chargers, but AB is going to be the leading receiver, and he doesn't have any time on-field time with Derek Carr. So with that, I'm going to say I think the Raiders will be more impacted by the receivers not being able to get any really quality time with their quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on there. I think he hasn't had that time to build that rapport with his quarterback that Odell has. But I'm gonna twist this. You know who is really going to hurt is this trend of players not playing in the preseason. It's really going to hurt them at the end of the day because you got the collective bargaining agreement coming up. These guys want 18 regular season games. Why? I got 2 more games I know my starters go be in. It may only be 2 preseason games, but that's a chip that I could use now in bargaining in the CBA when it comes around. You got 4 preseason games now. You have 4 games where you're not getting the total parking, concession, merchandise
Well, they
sales.
get it. They just don't get that. They don't get the big TV contract money.
Right. So the ratings are going down. You know what I'm saying? And the big thing is the person that's really hurting is the owner's pockets. And at the end of the day, it'll hurt the players because now it'll be, hey, you got a trend of not playing your starters. The ratings are down when you're not doing this. We're not having people in the stands. We're not getting the money that we need to get to give you the money that you want. So we're going to need 18 regular season games, 2 preseason games. It's still only 20 games, but that's what we're going to need so that we can get this done for this new CBA.
How would you feel if you're still playing about 18?
I would not like it. I always said I wouldn't want 18 games.
You gonna give me
right
lifetime
now,
benefits?
everything you need to
Guaranteed
change the
money?
benefits. Right now, everything is set towards you being the game being safer. Like the game, we made the game safer. Concussions are down. This is down. Hey, we can go up 18 games. We just made the game safer. And that's what everything really has led around to, and that's where we're at right now. And with this trend of guys not starting their starters in the preseason, it's going to lead to, this is what we want, this is what we need, because this is what the trend has become. Where when you and I were playing, it was, third game, that's 3 quarters.
Well, Skip, like I think Richard Sherman spoke to this. It's going to take something extraordinary for the owners to offer us, for the players to consider this. You want to give us lifetime health medical benefits after 3 years, Okay, we'll look into that. You want to guarantee these contracts? We'll look into that. You want to take Roger Goodell, and if it's not have anything to do with gambling, we're going to be able to go to an independent arbitrator? We'll look into that. But without those kinds of concessions, and we're going to do away with the franchise tag, no franchise tags, no tags. If you're talking about that, Skip, okay, now I'm going to look into it. But just to say, oh, here's 18 games, you guys go, no. It ain't going to be no status quo.
So I'm with both of you about the new trend. The trend is everywhere I look, nobody's playing in the preseason.
Playing.
Right.
No.
I used to enjoy the preseason because at least I could get a glimpse.
Right.
Right? And again, my pet peeve was always not so much getting hurt in a preseason game, but getting hurt in a preseason practice. You know, it's just like killed me. It's like not fair. The football injury gods, you know, would speak out, you know, that, oh, you're going to go down some non-contact drill. But in this case, we have two receivers who need to be playing, as you said earlier in the show, in live action crowd games where you're developing some under fire rapport with your new quarterback. And both are going to miss all four, and I'm just shocked by that because speaking of fragile, they've decided Odell is really fragile. If he can't play one, because at least he's been practicing, right?
Right.
And with Antonio, I still don't get it. I still don't know why Antonio wouldn't play tonight because it sounded like his feet were pretty
fine
much
now.
back.
That's what I was curious about.
So is he still protesting? Is he still, is he pouting?
Right.
I don't get it.
And plus, the thing is, what we're starting to see, the owners are going to look at this. I had someone to talk to someone yesterday from the NFLPA. He says when you start doing these players that get these guaranteed money and they behave like Antonio does, the owner says, see, this is why we can't give you guaranteed money because now you're going to behave in such a manner. We got to keep that carrot. We got to keep this thing dangling out there in front of you to get you to behave because that's always been the notion, Skip, is that if I give you guaranteed money, you're not going to work as hard. Well, maybe you might need to do it like basketball players, Skip. To get this super max, you might need to go to a Pro Bowl, make an all-star team, win an MVP, give them guys the incentives so, okay, to be able to get this. But the way it is now, Skip, I don't like it. I don't like the guys. I mean, I get it. There's so much money involved, and you don't want to see your star players go down. But damn, why are you even having a preseason if nobody's going to play?
That's how it's starting to feel.
Right.
So I'm with you on this. John Gruden has built his whole offense around number 84.
Yes.
That's going to be his fire starter. That's going to be his catalyst. That's, as he yelled the other night, you know, 84 will lead this league in energy. He wants him on the practice field, where he's not been, and he wants him in the lineup.
Yes.
And again, they are going to go to him like crazy because they spent on him like crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Skipper, he's the Z receiver in a West Coast offense.
Yep.
Jerry Rice was the Z receiver.
Yep.
Sterling Sharpe was the Z receiver. If you play in that system, the Z receiver is going to get a ton of balls.
Yep.
That's what AB is going to play. He's going to get a ton of balls. And to not have I mean, look, Pat and Go is nothing.
Right.
Where he was at Pat and Go, that's nothing. He needs to be like when Derek Carr back foot hit, he needs to know AB is coming out of that break.
Well, it's something else with, you know, like you said, pat and go means nothing. 7-on-7 really means nothing. You need that 11-on-11 with a defense that's actually coming at you. So, you know what? If I have to do a side adjust or I have to do a blitz adjust, then you have to be able to do that on the run.
Right.
And not being in practice and getting that consistent, you know, look of 11-on-11 ball, then, you know, it's going to change things.
But something's going to give, though.
Okay,
Something's got
I'm not convinced John Gruden is sold on Derek Carr. And now I'm not convinced that AB is yet sold on Derek Carr because he just can't be. He doesn't have any rapport with him. There's not enough interaction.
Yeah.
And you have to you know AB pretty well, but you have to gain his trust.
Right.
Sort of on and off the field. You have to have some relationship with him that has not been able to evolve with Derek Carr yet.
There was no place. AB, where could he go? Could he go if he only went to like New England or New Orleans, or where could he go to get Ben Roethlisberger? Hell, now you gonna get Derek Carr ain't gonna be Ben. No. Ben is a top 5 quarterback.
Yes.
No matter what you think about him personally or his behavior,
I got it.
But he can flat out play. AB gonna find out that the hard way, but he gonna find it out.
Yeah, for Odell to go from what he had in New York to Cleveland, I mean, the quarterback.
That might be an upgrade.
Right.
Okay, it is an upgrade.
Yeah.
It's definitely an upgrade in rapport because he and Baker hang out.
Right.
And he has some respect. I don't know how much you can get of Odell's respect off the field, but I believe he respects Baker enough that if it gets cold in November and December in Cleveland and they're under fire, that Baker can look at him in the huddle and say, calm down.
I hope so.
Just keep it quiet for a little bit, and we're going to figure this out. Well, I think he can.
I hope
if
so.
Odell will
listen,
listen to anybody,
that point and you're that upset either with yourself or someone else, it's hard to hear people talking to you.
But listen, Baker will make himself heard. He will.
He will
I hope
definitely
he's right.
do that.
Yeah.
Either way, guys, we've had a lot of NFL stories today, so we got to talk about LeBron. We haven't talked about that guy yet. James, thank you so much for joining us. Is LeBron past the point of being able to carry his team?
I can't wait.
We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
So Hall of Famer Scottie Pippen weighed in on who he thinks is the king of LA. Pippen said he'd take the Clippers over the Lakers this season. The additions of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George put an already confident team over the top, according to Pippen. He also went on to say that LeBron, going into his 17th season, will not be able to carry the load like he used to.
He said that?
Skip, he did say it. Do you agree that the Clippers are better than the Lakers? And yeah, he did say it.
Well, not only do I agree with that, but I mainly agree with what Scottie said about LeBron
No,
not being able to
that's
carry the
part.
load. Carry the load was the essence of those quotes. And as Shannon Sharpe well knows, I've never been the biggest Scottie Pippen fan as a player because I continue to say he rode Michael Jordan's coattails to top 50 status. But I will also say, as an analyst, Scottie has really impressed me more and more with his insight and his candor. And I was pleasantly shocked that he had the guts to say what he said.
Yeah,
about
you were just
LeBron.
happy that he said it. You ought to be ashamed.
Well, I'm pleasantly shocked because who would have the guts to say this about the king?
Yeah, anybody with two eyes.
King of what?
Like you told me, did you see Tom Brady take a step back last year? Who with two eyes could see LeBron James at 27, 8, and 8? Skip Bayless.
I also hark back to what Kyle Kuzma said about 3 weeks ago, and he was talking about how locked in LeBron is.
Locked in.
How he's just getting his body ready for the grind.
Laser focused.
He's laser focused.
Yeah.
But he also said, you see so many people slandering his name, saying this and that about LeBron James. And I'm thinking, wow, that is interesting. Who would have ever thought so many people are slandering the name of the king?
They slander Tom Brady. They doing it on this, Skip.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you do
Not
know
like
about
this.
it. Yeah.
No, nobody says he can't carry the team. Do you think he can't carry the team?
No, that's why we had the number one rushing attack in the playoffs last year. Because he couldn't carry the team, Skip. But can I talk
No,
now?
you cannot talk. Because if anybody knows about who and who can't carry teams, it would be Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, really?
Who closely observed the ultimate all-time team carrier named Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
That'd
in
be LeBron
Chicago
James.
through those. No, it's this guy, the true GOAT, not the phony GOAT that is LeBron James. And what I loved about what Scottie said, obviously he is favoring the Clippers because defensively he says they're just better, and they just are because LeBron doesn't play much defense.
Okay, what about offensively?
And then, thank you for bringing that up. But he says the Clippers just have too many guys they can throw at LeBron. But then he concludes LeBron is not going to be a tough matchup in his 17th season. I couldn't believe that's the money line right there. Is not going to be a tough matchup.
And what is Scottie basing that off of? Michael in 17?
Eye test from last year.
Oh, 27, 8, and 8.
Yeah. Well, 28 and 27 are the key numbers because that's LeBron's record in the games he started.
Okay, can I speak?
Okay, yes, now
okay,
you
thank you. I do not agree with Scottie Pippen. Are they better defensively? Absolutely. Do they have a better GM? Do they better have a better head coach, owner, front office, all that? Yes,
How about
absolutely.
assistant coach and Ty Lue?
All that. Got all that.
Coach?
But the players. And first of all, there's a reason why we went and got Anthony Davis because we're not going to ask LeBron James to carry the load solely on his own. Skip, did you know that Anthony Davis, in average only 33 minutes a game, averaged 26, 12, and 2.5 in 33 minutes. That's the lowest number of minutes he played since his rookie year. And he still gave you that.
Really?
So we're not going to
Wait a second. Why in his, 5 years in New Orleans, they had a sub 500 record?
Okay.
Can he carry a team?
Yeah.
So if LeBron can't, you're saying AD can?
AD will be just
Really
fine. We'll be just fine with Kuz, JaVale, Rondo. I like that they feel. Look, we waited. We tried to get Kawhi. That didn't happen. But I do like the pieces that they surrounded LeBron and Anthony Davis with. We're going to be just fine. Scottie, don't you work? See, Scottie, this antiquated theory. Year 17, you see Jordan. But he's not Jordan. Jordan didn't take care of himself like my guy does. My guy takes care of himself.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. What if Father Time is tapping him on the shoulder? It doesn't matter how hard you work. Just shrug him off? Yeah. Really?
Yep. That's what you do.
I didn't see that last year.
You did see it.
I saw pull groin.
You saw triple dubs.
Really?
You saw a 51-point night on the road against Miami. You saw 44. You stopped, Skip. You saw what he did to Portland, Denver.
Could we please see some of the lowlights from
there
last
you
year?
go, man.
Could we please see
No,
this glimpse?
no.
Could we
Skip,
remind
stop, no,
our faithful
no.
viewers of
Save.
what happened last year? Can we? Oh, he threw it in off the backboard. What are you doing, LeBron? Wait a second. Look. Kuzma shoves him out to defend a three-point shooter in Gallinari. LeBron's rolling ball
These
up
are
the
your
court.
favorites.
Kicked it out of bounds. What are you doing? You're the king. Wait a minute. This is Mario Hezonja blocking LeBron's last-second shot. You don't have enough lift in year 16 to get it up over Mario Hezonja, now a Portland Trailblazer. Wait a second. Well, you got to get out there, LeBron. Kuz is saying, get out there. Is Kuz going to be the help defender this year, as in help push LeBron out?
But you see what they said on Team USA, say Kuz putting that work in.
Okay, that's fine. I think he could be maybe the second best player on the Lakers this year.
Can you put together some good highlights?
Third, you know, good way.
He might be the closer because they don't have a closer. He's got to assume that role.
Why you do that?
Role.
Now, you done seen LeBron James close for 16 straight years, and now all of a sudden he can't close.
LeBron has been busy making a movie.
He getting that work in.
Yeah, he's been getting the movie work.
I told the other day. I shot him a quick message the other day.
Remember, it's going on and on and on because they changed directors in midstream, which means you got to start from scratch.
It doesn't mean that.
Yeah, you do. You got to reshoot.
It doesn't necessarily mean that.
Redirect.
But we're gonna put our imprint on it.
Yeah.
But don't you worry about that, Scottie Pippen. Don't you worry about old LeBron and the Lakers.
Boy,
we got a little surprise.
Spoke some harsh truth here.
Yeah. Is that the same Scottie Pippen that 4 years ago that said LeBron had passed LeBron Jordan? Is that same Scottie Pippen?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Scottie Pippen, who said that the Clippers pretty much owned the Lakers last year, and this
they did
by adding Kawhi and adding. I'm reading this through his quotes, and Paul George, one of the best defenders in the game. That sends their confidence up through the roof.
He's talking about LeBron ain't gonna be no tough cover.
Yeah.
He always give Paul George that work. He always give Kawhi that work. You remember, Skip?
You're living in the past.
Ain't going nowhere. He's not going anywhere, Skip.
Really?
Yeah, you got 3 more years of him after this one.
I hope so.
And
For
two
our
more
sake.
two more championships.
Yeah.
And 2 more chips.
So you're saying he can carry a team to a championship?
He can, but that's why we got AD. AD gonna carry some of this load too, Skip Bayless.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Changes
Sorry, but
everything.
I think you're in trouble, and I think Scottie Pippen is the harbinger of bad news.
The more carries you have, the better your chances are. We got 2. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think's better? Our 2 players or their top 2 players?
How about their team versus your team?
This is a player league, Skip Bayless. A player.
I don't know. That's a hard question.
It ain't hard.
I'm not sure what we're going to get from what number he's going to wear. 6?
He's
Not
wearing
sure.
23.
Oh, he's wearing 23?
Yeah, AD's
I
wearing
can't-
3.
Okay, all right.
You're okay
You
with
see
that?
AD
You're
throwing
okay?
that first pitch?
Yeah. Oh, you like that?
Yeah, nice, easy, soft toss.
Really?
Yep.
Do they throw basketballs?
He gonna throw it. I bet he throw it out on somebody's head.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm gonna give me some highlights when
Yeah, I feel like
body
you need to
bag.
have
You
some
need
kind
some
of.
highlights.
Cause you always
He
keep.
saves that tape.
Do we have that?
We got lowlights, man. And you know what? That's just the tip of last year's iceberg.
No, it's not. No,
There
it's
are
not.
8 more I could put on
No, it's
there.
not.
No,
No,
but
it's
they're the
not.
same
You try. You got them on a loop, and you always try to paint LeBron in a negative light. You like that artist that did that to Larry Bird. You try to put tattoos on us that don't belong. Skip
Really?
Bayless. Yes.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
They
Wait,
did happen, but
Is that CGI? Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
a couple bad moments.
Really?
Yeah, you make it seem like all that was in the same game.
No, I don't. But it happened in the same year, and there are 8 more. You know what? Tomorrow I'll add.
No, you
Yeah, I will.
Challenging him to find
No.
some more. I hope no one pulled all my bad clips.
But it's coming. We'll see. Over the night, I'm gonna be there.
You are? You're going.
There you go. Ooh, But I want Scottie Pippen to, if LeBron's an easy cover, who is going to do something with AD? 6'10.5". 26, 12, and 2.5 in 33 minutes.
You heard of Montrezl Harrell?
Look, I love Trez, but Trez ain't big enough.
I don't know.
He ain't big enough to do it.
Strong enough.
Yeah, hey.
Hey.
AD got 3
AD
point
wants none of the 5. He doesn't play in the middle.
No, we don't do that. No, he's a 4.
He's a pretty
He's a 4, yes,
Okay.
he's a 4.
Yeah.
That's what we got, JaVale. And we might get Dwight Howard or Morcine Gartat.
Yeah.
We might get one of them. Who knows?
Maybe. All I know, first night, AD goes up to dunk it, and Big Zoo, the big hand of Big Zoo comes in, and the ball is
Put money on it.
That's what it's going to
Put
be?
money on it.
You love it.
I
You love Big Zoo.
I do. I haven't forgiven Magic for giving him away for Muscala.
That didn't go as planned.
But that's okay. Your day coming.
Clippers got you. They're just
Got what?
better.
I bet we went over tonight.
Yeah. But we haven't even talked about Utah and Denver.
I bet we went over tonight.
Goes on.
What are we gonna have on
San
night? What are we
Antonio.
gonna have on opening night? That's what I need to know.
I told you, you'll probably get off to a good start.
No, good stuff.
gonna be the place to be.
And then everybody goes like, well, it's got it. Oh, well, I knew LeBron and that heavy voice here. I knew they're gonna be well. You know, LeBron is motivated. He heard it. No. He ain't motivated. He ain't motivated by anything that you said, because you've been one of his staunchest critics. You and you.
I've been
You and
his
you.
staunchest truth teller, and now Scottie has joined me.
No,
He
Scottie.
has.
No, Scottie ain't telling the truth.
Guys, you know what I'm excited about? College football. It is around
Yeah, here we go.
the corner, but the pressure is high, and so is the criticism for Jalen Hurts.
Wait,
but is
you
it
mean
warranted?
The next Heisman winner?
Possibly. We'll discuss
He in
next.
Alabama.
No mercy.
Alabama transfer Jalen Hurts was named the next starter at his new school, Oklahoma. The last two Heisman winners, Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, have been Sooner QBs, and critics have questioned Hurts' ability to play at the same level as his predecessors. But Lane Kiffin came to his former QB's defense. Kiffin said, quote, "Not to sound disrespectful, but I think those questions are ridiculous." Oof. Shannon, do you agree that it's ridiculous to question Jalen Hurts?
No, because that's why he lost his job, is the inability to throw the ball consistently. Can he throw? Look, every quarterback can throw. The question is, can they throw it accurately? Can they throw it consistently? And no, he cannot. If you look at Baker Mayfield, Skip, the year 2017, he won the Heisman. 70% completion percentage, 13 yards per attempt. Kyler Murray, 2018, 69 completion percentage, 13 yards per attempt. Jalen Hurts' career average, 63%, 8 yards per attempt. Therein lies the problem. Yeah, and I know, Skip, he came back and did a great job. He saved Alabama's season in the SEC championship, but they didn't prepare for him, and he did most of his damage with his legs. You know that.
I don't know that.
Stop playing. But in the national title game, who came off the bench and gave him that? You and I both know Alabama would have had back-to-back championships if Jalen Hurts could have thrown a little bit. This is the reason why they lost to Clemson. The second time around with Deshaun Watson, it was because Jalen Hurts' inability to consistently and accurately throw the football. So this is not ridiculous.
Maybe Clemson was just really good on defense. So here's the headline I'm going to predict for late in the season.
All right.
Headline, Jalen Hurts Shannon Sharpe.
Yo,
Because he's going to hurt you.
No, he's not.
And he's going to hurt you some more. And then he's going to hurt you the worst because he's going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Skip, you out your
and
mind.
Heisman U is going to have 3 in a row. That's never been
You
done
think so?
before. I think he's got a great shot.
No, the days of a running quarterback winning it, Skip, it's not going to happen. He can't throw the ball accurately enough, consistently enough. Now he might get up to the 70% with those Big 12 defenses because they're terrible out there.
Oh, well, but now you got a little
But
asterisk up there.
But OTT, Tua Tagovailoa.
Really?
Yeah, boy, he ought to mention. And Coach Saban, what Coach Saban say? So he learned a lot from that last loss.
Oh, did he?
Learned a lot.
Sure he did.
Lot.
He learned how quickly you can fail, and he's now got the demons in the back of his mind because once he failed in the SEC game, it started.
He was hurt.
The wheels started to come off.
You know he was hurt,
You know?
Skip.
And by the way, you said Jalen couldn't throw in the SEC game. He went 7 of 9 for 82 yards and a touchdown. He ran it 5 times for 28 yards and a touchdown. He had a QBR of 98 in that fourth quarter. And by the way, Tua, man, he had a hard time in that championship game because his QBR was 21 against Clemson. 21?
Skip, yes, he had a bad national
He
championship
had 2
game.
touchdowns, but he had 2 picks in that game. Ooh.
Clemson made him look Brent Venables. That defense was playing. When you got 3 first-round picks, one of them was the third or fourth overall in Cleveland Farrell. When you got 3 D linemen that go in the first round, that lets you know you can generate some pressure. You had 2 DBs get drafted also.
That's what I said, Clemson loaded on defense.
Yeah, they were loaded on defense. I'm not taking anything away. I'm talking about the first year that they lost to Clemson. If Jalen Hurts could throw the football, they dared him to throw it, and he couldn't successfully do that.
Has Jalen Hurts ever been coached by Lincoln Riley?
No, Lord.
Has he?
Not yet.
Is Lincoln Riley proving to be a wizard
Yes,
when
he
it
is.
comes
Look here,
to
I don't
players
care.
and
Lincoln
coaching?
Riley, Lincoln Continental.
No,
He ain't
really?
winning no Heisman Trophy. That's for sure.
I think
got something
Continental
going.
GT. is,
No. That Heisman,
Bentley.
that Heisman will be going down south.
So, would you believe that Jalen Hurts has risen up to number 3 in the Heisman odds?
We'll tell the people who number 1.
Well, it's Tua.
TG.
And that's in part because Jerry Jeudy, his receiver, Mel Kiper today, I think it was yesterday, released his big board.
Yeah.
And he's going number 1 at this point. Number 1.
Oh, we loaded at the skills.
And Henry Ruggs III is
Yeah,
going.
we loaded.
He's like top 15. So you got that going.
Loaded.
But speaking of loaded,
Yeah.
my Sooners are really loaded.
Y'all ain't gonna do nothing.
Feeling
The
good.
defense.
Can't wait to be
Loaded.
around them.
Babel Skip. You know
Can't
Babel
wait.
keep a stank down there. They
Here's
keep a
my-
stank down there.
Here's my first prediction.
Tell me.
Kyler Murray ran for 1,001 yards last year,
Yeah.
and I believe that Jalen Hurts will run for more yards than Kyler did last year.
And he'll throw for 1,500 to 2,000 fewer.
And I thought Lane Kiffin had a very interesting analogy because he said Kyler was like a slot receiver playing quarterback last year because he was so quick. But he said people underestimate. Jalen Hurts is built like a running back. He's 6'2", 220.
Yeah.
He moves like a running back.
I know a guy that was built like that, but he was left-handed, played in the SEC also. How did that work out for him throwing the football? Consistently and accurately. Now, I know what you can do on occasions. There are certain occasions, like Thanksgiving is a special occasion.
Yeah.
Christmas is a special occasion. But for Sunday, happens all the time.
Got a little stat for you here on a Thursday. This is from Pro Football Focus. Since 2016, no active quarterback at the FBS level has forced more missed tackles on the ground than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but
he can make you miss.
You do realize that has
He
nothing to do with throwing the ball.
He is effortlessly elusive.
Hey, Skip, I get
Now
all that.
you combine that with a Lincoln Riley who will put him in great positions. And speaking of loaded at the receiver position, Jenny knows all about CeeDee Lamb. I think he will rise
Special
into
kid.
being a top 10 pick in the next draft.
It
Top 10.
So fast.
We got
And
plenty
they
of
are
them.
just loaded. Calcaterra, the tight end, can really get
yeah.
open and catch it. And then I don't have time to go through the depth they have at wide receiver because they got like 5 other guys who are just little smurfs who are just bing, 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 and you're just
Again,
sitting. Wait, there's
what you
another guy wide open.
What you gonna do about that defense? They gave up
Making
700
changes.
yards a game and 50 points.
What happens is that the opponent scores so quickly against the defense that the offense keeps getting the ball back, and the score goes to, as we saw that Friday night at West Virginia, I can't remember what the score was, like 55 to 50, something like that.
Yeah.
But guess
I don't remember
what?
It was
Yeah.
But what happened
And
when
that's
they
what's going to happen, and that means the quarterback is putting up huge numbers. Huge numbers. You get nervous. You look like you're getting nervous.
You remember what happened when they played teams from the South? Oklahoma played Clemson. What happened?
Okay,
Breaks got beat off them.
Okay, wait a
played
second.
Georgia.
Okay.
Bama.
Well, are they going to play him during the regular season because the Heisman voting ends at the end of the season?
Skip, y'all
right?
not with Skip. Y'all
Okay.
listen.
I'm just talking about winning the Heisman. I'm not talking about winning the national
Y'all not with,
championship.
y'all not gonna win no Heisman. He's not gonna win no Heisman.
Okay.
Okay.
And I got another one for you.
Okay.
The 2 running backs that are back for Oklahoma, and that does not include Jalen Hurts. Trey Sermon and Kennedy Brooks, says Pro Football Focus, are arguably the 2 best running backs in the country, let alone in the Big 12. And in make-you-miss stats, in elusivity, both were at the very top of the national list last year. So remember I said this, Trey Sermon, Kennedy Brooks. They are explosively loaded all everywhere around the quarterback. He's got so many weapons, but he will be the one who will stand out because his stats will be the one that will
When
rise the
has
highest.
Alabama not been loaded?
Okay.
You said there are low. When have we not? The cup. I mean, think about it. D linemen out the yin yang go every year. Running backs
They're
out the
loaded.
year, and we keep them coming.
Every draft list I see, Alabama has like 7 guys
Exactly.
going in the first round.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. And that has what to do with winning the Heisman Trophy? Nothing. It has zero to do with it.
What it does is that we're going to prevent the other teams from getting the ball into the end zone. They're going to get it back for us, and Tua's going to have, and Coach Saban's going to let Tua play. So I can see him throwing for like 50 tubs this year, having about 4,500 yards.
I can
That's
also
what it's going to
see
do.
that he's got some demons because it's that, that blissful ignorance that he had for a while because he would just fling it. He'd just drop back and just say, I can do that, and I can do that. And then all of a sudden, that got intercepted, and that got a fumble.
So who got Clemson? Who got 3 first rounders in the SEC on defense?
Okay, so what's your point?
My point is there a Clemson defense in the SEC?
Is there a Clemson defense in the Big 12?
No.
I'm talking about the Heisman.
That's
all
what
I
I'm
want
talking
about. Right?
First of all, you would have to jump us.
Huh?
You would have to jump us.
We're going to win every game.
No, you're
We're just going to win.
Texas.
I know we're already
Texas.
favored to win every game.
Texas.
We're favored to beat Texas. They're good.
Feeling
I
good
respect
about that
Sam Ellinger.
I got that one.
No?
We'll be there.
Texas.
We'll be there for that
Don't
one.
do that, Skip. Let's go
This
Longhorns.
is legal now.
Let's go.
This is legal.
Now you can celebrate that way?
Let's go Longhorns.
I'm going to see Kiffin next week because they're
Are you?
playing Ohio State. So I'm going
Okay.
to talk to him about Jalen. I'm going to get
Okay.
some background information.
He tried to take shots at Coach Saban. You know that's what he does. You know what he did.
But he knows this guy better than anyone.
He does.
So Shannon, in a week, I'll have some new
Coach Saban knows him
for
too.
you
He know he
about
wasn't gonna win no
Jalen.
national title with it. That's why he got him up out of there and put Tua in there.
Jalen just died and went to football heaven in Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm looking
Yep.
forward to
But
it.
we already in heaven.
Hey.
See, he got a nine get to heaven. We already in
I can't
heaven.
agree with you more.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to be around that guy
Thank
this
you.
year.
I can't believe you, Jenny.
I mean,
Here we
you
go.
feel free to jump on our bandwagon.
Jenny Arnold. That's your last name.
Anytime you want.
Benedict.
How about this next one? There's a time and place for everything, including double teams. We will explain next.
No mercy.
All right, time for our final topic of the day. Earlier this week, video came out of Devin Booker complaining about being double-teamed in a pickup game. So this brought a social media frenzy of current and former NBA stars weighing in. Former All-Star Gilbert Arenas said Booker should embrace doubles if he wants to become a superstar. Hawks guard Trae Young came to Booker's defense, saying double teams shouldn't happen in pickup games, with some other players got on board with as well. Shannon, whose side are you on with this one?
I'm with Books. Come on, Skip. This is a pickup game, man. You ain't trying. Hey, catch these buckets. If you ain't good, hey, look, we going to 21 to whatever score going to, and I get cooking, go ahead and just take this L. But you're going to run double teams at me in a pickup game, Skip? I'm out there trying to work on my game. First of all, and Draymond, Iggy chimed in and said he and Draymond would double KD in practice. Well, you do know y'all are like on the actual team, and there might come a time that you might have to double Dame Lillard or LeBron, James Harden to get the ball out of his hand. These guys are not going to be teammates, but y'all don't want Book to cook y'all, so y'all going to double him in a pickup game. Really?
What I don't know is the background of how competitive that pickup game had become.
Okay.
Was it getting like for blood? Was there any money on the line?
Because Book was cooking them.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Did they just get sick and tired of getting cooked until they finally said, well, let's just
Double to get the ball out of his hands.
make somebody else beat us, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure about the competitive level of said game.
Right.
But I must comment quickly on Trae Young, who backed up Devin via Twitter. And, no double teaming in pickup. But then he did a hashtag, only a few understand. Come on,
Yeah, everybody
Trae.
knows that. Yeah,
Come on,
everybody knows that.
Trae.
Yeah.
You that good?
Yeah, he get bucket.
You're in that genius level?
Yeah,
where- no, you're
they
not
be-
that good yet.
They be
Only
doubling
select
it.
few.
They be doubling it, Skip. Yeah.
Only a few get it.
Just kind of like what you and Rappaport do to me.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.